Under the rain, under the mercy of the elements, these are the latest victims of the ongoing violence in Kaduna State. Hundreds of them have been camped at this school since March this year, when gunmen from an opposing tribe attacked their village, killing dozens and destroying homes.
Our main problem at the moment is shelter. From then, we're able to go back home, then we talk about security.
Located in northwestern Nigeria and with a population of nearly 6 million, Kaduna State has been embroiled in conflict for decades. The violence has its roots in ethnic tensions between the state's Muslim and Christian populations. The Muslim-Christian divide has been so exacerbated by the fighting that the government has mandated these two men, a Muslim imam and a Christian cleric, to use the pulpit to try and bridge the gap between their two communities. And they have brought together traditional leaders to join their cause.
The politicians have taken this important element, sensitivity to our religious values, as a chess game for winning political office. This is why it becomes so sane.
Pastor James Wuye is himself a victim of the ongoing conflict. He lost his arm when his village was targeted in the tit-for-tat attacks and now wears a prosthetic arm.
I wish they know the benefit of peace. Sometimes I feel incapacitated. I wish I am this Superman somewhere in a movie that can go drop waters in trouble zones and say, stop this killing, it will not help you.
The conflict is mainly concentrated in rural Kaduna, but has also spilled into the city. The people of Kaduna have also been physically divided along religious lines, with River Kaduna forming a natural boundary. Many Christians have fled the state over the years, fleeing the almost endless cycle of violence. Those that remain behind have sought refuge in the southern part of the city, while the Muslims dominate the north. This man,
Thank you so much for watching. Thank you. Have you subscribed? Yes, you. Have you subscribed? You. Yeah, before you go, click. It's free. Click. Just that's it. Have you subscribed? You are laughing. Have you subscribed? Have you subscribed? Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Hey, madam. Thank you so much. I can see you. I can see you. We have to get to 100,000 subscribers. By the end of the year, how are we going to do that if you don't subscribe? Yes, you. Yes, you're about to click off. Why? Have you subscribed? It's free. If you don't, ask your son, ask your daughter how to. Just one click. Thank you. Thank you. I see you. Aha. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I'll see you tomorrow.
Okay. Children are born and put on a rubber stool. No, I tell people, Dr. Damages, you need to come. If you want to know the level of poverty in Nigeria, you need to enter the Nigerian hospital. You'll be walking at the doctor. Sometimes you cry. Sometimes we use our money to give patients. So when people see doctors go on strike, I get mad. I had to leave. It's painful. You see a child that you're taking care of. After a few days, the child is retrogressing. The child is getting worse by the day because the drug you recommended, you prescribe for the child, they cannot take the child's prescription to the pharmacy. There is no money. They don't have money in their account. The little baby that is so fragile, you manage to take their blood sample. They cannot process the blood sample because the person at the lab said no, they don't have the money in their account. They will take my salary if I process this sample. So you watch the innocent baby go retrogress. What do? You take our money from your pocket and give that parent, madam, please go and put in this account. Let me see this child get better. And we're here defending thieves because they give you $5,000, $1,000. What is $1,000? Children are born and put on plastic chairs in Nigeria. Are we not ashamed of ourselves? And we'll call Obi stingy. Let him be prudent and let us have functioning hospitals. Let us have good roads. Our people are dying. Children are dying by the day. I had somebody when I was in Calabar. And when I was still a medical student, the man I used to buy something from at Amaya Market, his child was born premature. Guess what? But the child was older than the other child that survived. Why did his child die? Because the child missed the last incubator that was available. The other child that was born that was weaker had the incubator. His child did not have any incubator. They had to wrap the child and put a lamp beside him. That child died.
Oh.
And you people have the effrontery to come here and defend Tinubu article.
Oh no, it's so sad. It's so sad.
You want to know poverty? Enter the hospitals of Nigeria. You don't know nothing.
It's so
So we
sad.
have to be very careful what we say. Very careful. There's poverty in the land. There's poverty in the land. A lot of poverty in the land. People die by the day.
Wow, thank you.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, as they say those days on NTA. You are again welcome to another special. Today we had the privilege of hosting one of Nigerian finest. Those of us who used to follow these guys know that these are not ordinary people. They are almost like spirits. Sorry, I don't know why my camera is frozen. Goes into a freezing mood. Rudolph, can you hear me? Okay, so I don't know. The system seems to be freezing by himself. Wow.
Are you using your phone or computer?
No, my number is, iMac. Why it keeps freezing? I don't know.
Can you close any other thing that is open on the?
Yeah, I don't have anything open. Okay, you know what? Let's if you have any of those Dr. Chido's video you can play for us, and then I will try and sort these things out.
All right.
Okay.
Okay. Stories are not told in a day. They are built over time. Years of thoughts, of writing, years of asking difficult questions. A voice that has stayed consistent in a country that is constantly evolving. And in moments like this, you don't try to create something new, you know? You respect what already exists. Because it's about identity, legacy, presence, and every frame is part of something bigger. A conversation, a gathering, a moment that brings people together. That was only the beginning. Next, we document the moment itself.
I'm in principle in support of the what is called power shift now, that power should move from one region to the other, and the North has been in power for the last 7 years. The Southern minorities have had a chance to rule, which for me, although I was a great critic of Jonathan, I'm gratified by the fact that someone from there, got a chance to rule. So I support that. I would also support the ceding of power to the Southeast, because that's the region of the country that has never produced the president from 1999 until now. Not even a vice president, right? Yeah, not even a vice president. So that's a part of the country that I think should produce the next president.
All right, Chido, it's all yours.
Okay. Thank you so much, Dr. Rudolph, for sitting in. Excuse me. No, sometimes this technology, and they create small. Because I just tried to check if there was anything open, but nothing was open.
Okay.
And so thank you for standing in.
All right.
All right. Have
a nice show.
Okay, thank you. If you are there, please come in and say let's discuss, because there's a lot to digest to dissect today. Dr. Chido is somebody that I respect and I've written a lot, especially with the one that we're all Biafrans. We're all Biafrans was quite interesting, and a lot of people read it. Some had positive notes, some said no, they don't agree with him, because we're not all Biafra. If we're all Biafra, we'll be suffering the same thing, but you cannot equate the suffering of people from the Southeast with the suffering of other people around Nigeria. Whether that is true or not, we are waiting for you to come and give us your own view on his writings. And he's a very humble man. He doesn't really try to, people like him who have crossed from media to business, from this to that, all around, they will probably, be a bit cocky, but he's not, simple individual to discuss. You can, and he just, he's just out there. I think we enjoyed, I don't know about you, but I enjoyed the interview with him. And Rudolph makes it seamless, because he just have a way of pulling all the, the information that you need to hear from the guy. Because even the questions that I had, marshaled out, which is one, he said that the breakup of Nigeria was almost impossible, and I don't agree on that. Why do I not agree on that? Because the people who sat down in the Berlin Conference divided Africa. They didn't come to find out whether the tribe close to behind Ogoja was Igbo or not. They didn't come to find out. Okay. They didn't come to find out whether, the tribes were the same. They didn't find out whether some Igbos were left in Cameroon when they divided the border between Bakassi and the east. They didn't bother to find out that Atiku may be from Cameroon when they divided, when they cut the line between Madugri and Chad and Cameroon. So for us to say it won't be easy, those people didn't even bother to ask us before they did what they did. Now, coming back to our nation, Nigeria, when the Nigerian Federation felt there was a need for them to create states in order to destabilize what they feared was coming, and they didn't go around the places measuring the communities to find out who is on what side. They took a decision and they did what they wanted, and they created 12 states. Okay, and whether you like it or not, that was it. And those things have stood even till this moment. And then eventually, sometimes down the years, when they wanted to, add more states, nobody asked you. Nobody said, why will Asaba be on the side of, the side where it is now? Why will Onitsha be on the other side? Nobody asked those questions. They did what they wanted to do, and we are fine with it. So, and even when they wanted to make it 36 states, nobody went around asking people, my community, do you want to stay in Abia State or you want to go to River State? Because, how far is it from River State to my place? So now those things stood and have decided to become those states as were created. If we decide to now separate, why should that be a problem? I think it should be very easy. So I don't, share his views there. However, he's entitled to his own view, and I respect that so much. Now, he also mentioned something that I want to touch before I bring my brother and friend, Mr. Comrade Mori. Now, he talked about the Federalists in the United States. The Federalist paper, and those of us who have not read it, is something you need to look at. When I read that, and I thought they were angels that wrote that, and honestly, those guys sat down. You can see the sincerity of purpose that was in their mind. They were not trying to make one side bigger than the other side. In fact, if there's any error you find in the Federalist paper, it is just it is the lack of the shortcoming of human nature, not because they intended to make it so. So you read the Federalist papers and you say to yourself, if these guys can sit down and think about their country, these are young men, 27 years old, and the rest of them could, sit down and think of how to move America even to the next generation, and years after they've gone, and wrote this thing, all men are what? Equal. And they, to be free is an inalienable, I've forgotten that word. Okay, right of every individual to be free. And it made sure that they wrote a constitution that made it so. So much so that if you are from California, you are not more important than a guy from Delaware. And your state does not automatically become more important than, because you have oil, you have everything. You have money, you have population. Doesn't make. So I see it as a very shining example. Any nation who wants to make sure that the people live in peace with one another, to look at those things and try to recreate something like that will help them balance out their nation. He talked about also, Nigeria is not a place that respects law. They don't respect law. And so when we say, people are not obeying law, listen, for those of us who served NYS, you find out that the call paper, the call up they give you, if you turn the back of the call up, there is a federal quotation there, federal law that says that no federal ministry is allowed to reject a copper. But guess what? It's a federal ministry that rejects more coppers more than even the private people. You go there, they just take your paper. If they don't, if they don't like your face, like your tribe or where you're coming from, they just wrote, no, rejected, and stamp it for you, so you can go and look for another place. So, federal government itself is breaking the law that said they set up for them by themselves. So, which country operates like that? You break your own law, with no, nothing. You don't even give any damn, Anyway, here comes my brother. Let me bring him in. a man that has always made the discussion very, very interesting. And you are welcome, sir. I hope where you are, God is treating you well.
Thank you, Dr. KJ. Good to be with you once again. It's always a pleasure to be on this show because it gives us opportunity to learn, and to relearn. I've learned a lot from this show. When each time you come here, except you're no matter how dull you are, you must have something to take home, whether good or bad.
Thank you so much. Go ahead and make your initial comment. Did you watch the broadcast that we had with Dr. Chido Onumah?
Unfortunately, I didn't watch, but as the last time I came in, almost at the tail end of it, and I was very happy I came in at that time. Somebody was asking questions about what's wrong with democracy. The same thing I've been saying here, I've repeated it. I've sounded like a broken record here. I always say we are unique people. We want to blame everything around us. We want to blame the system. We want to blame colonialism. We want to blame imperialism. Some people will come here with geopolitics. Some people will come here with different things. The Civil War, slave trade. We want to blame our problem on the 40 foundation and everything. All these things are right. But again, my question here every day, and I will repeat today, of greater concern to me, it's not the foundation that was laid to us. Most of us were born into a very poor and wretched families. The best thing our fathers had was the white bicycle. Most of us were not opportune to, our parents could not pay school fees for us. But most of us took it upon ourselves to say, this must end. This must not continue. KJ, this is not to blow my own trumpet. I was in year one when I was supposed to be asking for school fees from my parents. I was already taking care of my siblings. As I'm talking today, people are hearing me. This is not about me. So the reason why I'm saying this is we cannot continue to blame system, blame the 40 foundation, where we are not looking inward into what we are doing, the damage we are doing to ourselves. We can push blame, which is okay. It's good to know where you're coming from, to know how you get to where you are, so that you know how to hope to be where you hope to get to. This is fine with me. Somebody was saying democracy is not working in Africa. If somebody was trying to say how bad democracy is in America, how democracy is, you're looking at the negative side of democracy, without also looking at the positive side of it. If democracy cannot work, you even want us trying to make it look as if our traditional ways was better than what we have today. KJ, with all due respect, I respect tradition, I respect culture. But when tradition becomes barbaric, when it becomes outdated, when it becomes archaic, when it becomes breaking my brother's head for sacrifice because one man from somewhere is assumed to be my God on earth. For that man to survive, I want to kill my brother. I kick against such tradition. When it comes to say the birth of a twin is a sin, I don't worship such traditions. I have no respect for such cultures. So we can blame democracy all we want. We can blame the Civil War all we want. We can blame slave trade and colonialism all we want. We are not doing better than what those people did to us. And we are not even doing better than what our politicians and operations are doing to us. I put on the commission questions. The way he answered that question, I don't need a prophet to tell me that the show was a good show. He already knows it's a very sharp mind. I've listened to him before. So as soon as I was just entering the show when he tackled that guy like, democracy is not your problem. And I repeat and I applaud him to say, democracy, the system is not your problem. Why not look at the operators you put in place? Why not look at the attitude of the followers or how they take everything from their oppressor, hook, line, and sinker, without asking questions, without holding them accountable? Somebody was saying on one platform today, why I could not come here early. He's not just going to vote. Tinubu is doing everything to, if you look and say Tinubu is going to ring everything, there's no need to go waste his vote. To me, people are like that already dead. They're not supposed to be alive. Okay. Because that is self-defeatist. You already defeated yourself even before the battle. The question is not whether Tinubu will ring. Tinubu is a mafia. Tinubu is no matter what you want to, the adjective you want to address Tinubu with, I don't care. But what are you doing as a people to checkmate Tinubu for stealing your mandate? That should be of greater concern to us. On this note, I rest my case so that others can make their input. Thank you.
Thank you so much, comrade. I agree with you. I agree with you. Before you tell me that democracy is not working, you tell me how many heads of states, ministers, governors of other nations that have come to invest their millions in Nigeria and build houses, and they run to come and do holiday in Nigeria. And if you tell me that, then I'll know, oh, really, it must be a problem of democracy. And that's why. But our own people take our own money because we voted them into office, go save it in other nations, carry their children to go to schools abroad, take their, whoever their girlfriends and boyfriends abroad to spend our national cake. And then you tell me democracy is not working. How come? Is that part of democracy? Is that what the most democracy taught? Nobody taught us that. And I don't agree with that democracy cannot work in Africa. Rather, the operators are not the best of us. Mr. Ike, you are welcome.
KJ, good evening, good afternoon, good morning, happy Sunday.
Welcome, sir. Yes, we are reviewing the discussion with Dr. Chido, and our comrade here have already fired his first salvo, which is that he doesn't think that somebody who was suggesting that democracy was not working, and it's not about democracy. You can take any part of his interview which you want to talk about, and then go ahead and make your initial comments.
Well, unfortunately, I did not listen to the interview.
Okay, so let me give you one of the the points there. He said that Nigeria at this point it's almost looks impossible for it's almost impossible for Nigeria. He didn't say it cannot divide, but that there's been so much mixed up in Nigeria that now to say separation may not be viable. However, that alternative is still at the table, and because it's on the table, it can happen, but it doesn't know how it will be fragmented to. I gave many examples of what has led to this point and why the division in Nigeria has not been, we have not been able to solve it because the system keeps creating things that makes the country to continuously be divided. For instance, you can live in Abia State for 20 years, after which you cannot be regarded as an indigenous of Abia State. You still have to go back to your state where you have, in each time they ask you to fill form, you'll still ask you state of origin. But you have been in Abia for 20 years now. You have been in Abia for 30 years now, but you cannot say you are from Abia. So such things keeps the division very, very sharp, and it will continue. He talked about it. Somebody who once said he wanted to deport people from particular part of the region, the country, back to their state of origin because they were considered a nuisance in Lagos. Now, those things are things that do not help the country to unite. That was part of his argument. And so if we are really interested in in one nation, as he said, concluded, then these parameters that have been set over time, which is not, Nigeria is not the only one. He gave other examples, other nations where these things are, where British, the colonies that British ruled, these divisions have been also created there. But those people have taken time to sort themselves out. Why are we not sorting ourselves out? All right, go ahead, sir.
Well, I think that there is always the possibilities of Nigeria fragmented into pieces. And there is always also a possibility of sabotage of those things happening. People who work against it or people who sabotage it are the people that are benefiting from the present day Nigeria. They will not want to see something like that happen in their time because it will no more benefit them. So it's always something that is always on the table, but the possibility is always what the visions of when and how is always what it is. And I believe that if the Nigerian population could be able to change their way of followership of the people in the politicians and those who call themselves leaders of Nigeria, I think Nigeria will be able to be a good country. But like as you said, they have always three things that they use to make sure that we hate each other and we fight against each other. While we are fighting ourselves, they are busy making the natural resources of Nigeria, tribe, religion. Because these are the two things that they use. And most of us fall for it. And most of us are being used for it. And at the end of the day, they will laugh, enjoy their wealth, and make mockery of you and give you a bag of rice. So, Nigeria is in a delicate balance. That's for sure. That's the truth. But for me personally, I do not have the projection of how it's going to end. Because there are always the people that are using it for their own benefit. And people who will not want to see Nigeria work. Even in this present time Nigeria is. As all of us are shouting, crying, how can we have a better Nigeria? There are people, a lot of Nigerians are benefiting from, the crisis, the confusion, the corruption, the insecurity, the maladministration, the nepotism, the hatred, the tribalism, the religion. A lot of people are benefiting from it. So those people who are benefiting from it, they will continue to make it to work so that they will continue to benefit. The thing is that my question for we, the populace, is for how long shall we be deceived or carried on by tribe and religion? And for how long will they continue to use us for their own benefit by using religion and tribe as a weapon against us? But when you walk in the street, when we meet ourselves outside Nigeria, you will always love to be a Nigerian because of the love we have for each other outside Nigeria. When you meet a Nigerian somewhere outside Nigeria, you always want to show that you're a brother or you're a sister. You feel that you're safe. You feel that you're secure. Because you find your brother or your sister somewhere you visited that is not your country. For me, who is traveling is part of my hobby since I've been a living person. I travel most of the time. I travel around the world. And every time I travel, I try to look for Nigerians. And when I see Nigerians, I feel that there is life, that I can see my brothers and sisters in this part of the world. But it is only when we go back to Nigeria, even with our experience, even with us living outside Nigeria, knowing what it means to be called a nation, we are still brainwashed with the religion, tribe, and tradition, and we are still brainwashed with the religion and culture, religion and tribe. So I think it's a big problem. It's really a very big problem, but it is always going to be on the table that we don't know how or when or what is going to happen. But if the spirit of true Nigerians are running in the veins of Nigerians who can be able to stop themselves being used with religion and tribe, I think we will have a better country. I don't think democracy is our problem. It's the people that are running democracy and the followership, the people that are following. You know, it is an example is if somebody from your town or your state is given a position, even though you know that he or she has failed, you will continue want to defend that your brother or your sister because he's from your tribe. Even though you know he has failed, even though you know that he has not benefited anything, but you still want him or she to continue to remain there. So that's our problem. Until when we can decide to say, oh no, brother Ike, listen, we have tried you for 4 years, you can never go there anymore. I think when Nigerians begin to make that choice, we're going to have a better country where they can tell me, Mr. Ike, we gave you 4 years and you messed it up. So we cannot give you another 4 years. We are going to go with Ovie. We have to try Ovie. And that's the way it's going to be after 4 years. If Ovie could not do anything, we try KJ. By the time we are going around like that, probably it might end up that it's Maska that will be the better person who will be able to give the people what they want. But the problem we have in Nigeria is that it's my people, it's my person. So because it's your person, whatever he does is good for you. So even though he's amazing the weight of your people, it's okay by you. Because at the end of the day, when he comes on the weekend with entourage, he will give people 5,000 naira, share them bag of rice, give them bag of Maggi, and everybody's happy. So it is what it is, my brother. We are praying for Nigeria to be better tomorrow.
Mr. KJ, if you don't mind, can I ask Mr. Ike just one question?
It depends on all of us to make Nigeria to be better.
Okay, we have not started yet, but
yeah, just a question based on what he just said.
Okay, just a question, not an explanation, a question.
No. There's a saying that a problem identified is a problem solved. Now that we see with this thing every day, that they divide us among religion, ethnicity, and tribal, lines. We sing with it every day. We're all aware of this. Why then do we fall for it? I give you a case study like what happened in Lagos. Jagaban was losing. Somebody tried to turn it to a war between Igbo and the Yorubas. Why do you keep falling for it when you know it's a trap that has been set for you? Thank you.
Okay, Ike,
was I the person who said that people that are not from Lagos should not vote in Lagos? I don't think
it's not personal. I'm not attacking you. This is not personal. Why do we keep falling for this?
Okay, so let's bear that in mind for those who will be speaking later. Comrade is saying, why is it that this same old tricks that they've used over time is still being played and we all still fall for it? Okay, I will bring Maska in to speak about it, but if you ask me, I will tell you it's still the same thing. You see, it is difficult to change from the old parade. Okay, we have been on this quick march for so long that it's the sentiment of tribe, okay, is bigger than whatever we can think about. There are very few men who rise above their tribal sentiments. Very few men. I remember that Olaro Tumi's work, one of his work, which was quite popular, was the wedlock of the gods, and the only reason why Adewale fell into that trap was because of his tribe. His tribe was abused, and he felt that his tribe had been abused. He must have to act, and he acted only to find out that he indirectly played into the hands of the gods. So this is what we should always watch out for. And Chio Kadibo said that a man who cannot arise above his tribal sentiment, then I'm trying to remember how he concluded, have not really been educated. But let's hear from Maska. He may have a reason why these things do happen over and over again.
Good evening, KJ. I think you've answered the question perfectly. So I think the bottom line, there are two things as the lowest common multiple. Number one, you said it. if you cannot rise above your tribal sentiment, then truly you've not been educated. Clearly, I just can't see how you truly will claim to be educated, and what drives your action is your tribal sentiment. When you know very well, even within your tribe, half of the tribe will not like you. There's no tribe that they love each other. There's no tribe in this country. In fact, in your hometown, in your village, half of the village may not truly like you. Why are you going to just be so predisposed to that if you're truly educated? So that's one part of the thing. But the second part of the answer is that truly our people were not educated, sincerely speaking. A lot of us go to school, but number one, even the structure itself is not an educational structure. What I mean by it's not an educational structure is people go to school just to get some certificate so that they can work. It's not that we go into that classroom and then we open our minds and then we get educated. No, a lot of people, half of us will crime, just to pass the exam. So I think fundamentally we need to first look at our educational system. People need to really be educated, because if you look around, there is nobody on this platform that will claim that he does not have a very good friend that is outside his tribe. Nobody. So how is it that our minds would be so close to the fact that, look, yes, I mean, there's a cultural link to it. I am a Hausa man. I can't see how I will not be proud of my heritage. Because, okay, so what will I be proud of? You can't be proud of what is not really your own. In Hausa, we have this saying that like the short axe that you have is better than that big axe that you have to go and borrow, and when you finish, you have to return it. So I can understand that as an Igbo man, people should be proud of their heritage, but that should not determine or predetermine or drive your overall actions. And I think for me, that's really like 30% of the problem. We have refused to be educated. Even you, KJ, half of the time when you talk, you drive yourself into tribal discussions. And it's just, I find it very ridiculous that somebody at your level can rise above that. And it's across all of us. I mean, I have friends that, look, when they speak, you wonder, like, where is this one speaking from? You've gone to school, but why are you talking like that? What do you have against an Igbo man? Or what do you have against a Yoruba man? And half of them, that when they are doing their business deals, is with the Igbo man, they will go and do it. So let me summarize. I think you answered it, because yes, we have a lot of people that are supposed to have been educated but are not educated, and that's why we still fall to that tribal sentiment like Omorui is posing. And the truth also is that 80% of our people have not even been educated to start with. In fact, have been miseducated, which means that you have to de-educate them of the miseducation before you start properly educating them. I don't know if that makes sense, KJ.
Yeah.
And don't be offended, and you don't need to respond in terms of attacking you. It's not personal. It's just an example.
Yeah, no, I mean, that right remains mine, but it's okay, then no problem. Yeah, Ovie, go ahead.
You say the right remain yours. Whose right be that?
The right to respond if I wanted to.
I think for me, our side, let me start with our guest. I think what stand out for me now is understanding of dual sovereignty, which I believe is lacking, or is the next stage of our democracy. That's the next thing we need to evolve to, where we have to devolve power to the state significantly. state need to have an extraordinary amount of autonomy for the democracy to function well, whereby majority of the people benefit, because that's pretty much what the democracy is all about. Right? A system whereby majority of the people are benefited from the resources or what the state has to offer. So if any system provider, as far as I'm concerned, it's a democracy. That's why China, as far as I'm concerned, is a democracy, because for me, the definition is at the core of our problem when it comes to democracy. So his ability to break it down, to the level that I never actually see anybody, go that route before, is what stand out for me. And I think, and his understanding of conversation, believing that we haven't had enough conversation, that we need to have a conversation pretty much across every line, even that the foundation or the structure of the nation that we have to build. Conversation have not been heard enough. Books have not been read or written enough about it. So to that, I kind of, fall into the same school of thought with the guy. And I think the question that we are, tackling, which is the idea of how we to overcome our tribal and religious sentiments in order for the elite now to stop using it against us. It's because we have not able to build a state. If we are able to build a state that every citizen can be proud of or believe in, the idea of falling back to your tribe or religion for survival, for your own inspiration, will be very difficult. So building a functional state is the missing piece, as far as I'm concerned. For we need a national identity. So in a social cultural framework whereby every citizen, to even think about ethnicity or religion as a sentiment, will become something micro, So until we get to that point whereby the security, the welfare, justice, and all those central pillars of what society should be are functional, the idea of religion and tribal will still be our number one problem. So we need a citizen have to rely on their ethnicity group for physical protection, for instance. When we collectively we are boldly calling for Eastern Security Network, Yoruba Security Network, Afẹ́nifẹ́re God carriers, right? This is the conversation we are having, and that is because the state has failed to actually provide that. So nobody rely on Nigerian police again for protection, right? So you have to. So until all those things, all those natural justice, where welfare come from, most of all those things also have to actually be in place. And again, the ability of we have to move away from this pre-Bengalism that they call it. Make I try speak English. Whereby my person go there, if my town person get there, all those things. Then the idea of meritocracy into bureaucratic services. The fact that we're having a conversation of federalism that is no longer viable, or what do they call that, quota system, which is pretty much in line with the federal. So the fact that we, the younger generation, right, are having that conversation that is no longer viable means that we have identified a problem that until we still take care of that, because if I see the let's say I see the even up to today, if I want to get a favor, I want to go into federal government or anything, the ability for me to switch my name to the people in power at that time, in order for me to get favor, is still very much it will be the first thing that will come to my face. Right. So all those quota system, federal character, until we do away with that. But of course, in order for us to get there, we have to have a very strong nation system that work. If not,
okay, I have a question for you before I leave you.
Go ahead.
Now you must have read the Federalist.
Yes, Federalist paper.
They well, maybe say the step down of that is the federal character in Nigeria. Why is that the American Federalist paper is treated, is respected, is followed, is taught it is entrenched in their system, and everybody follows that interpretation for what it is. Then how be it that we, who are much smaller as in country, as in size and even in population, can't seem to uphold the federal character of our own constitution, or even seek to write a paper as seamless as the Federalists?
It's deliberate now by those in power. Even our guest, Chido, alluded to that. People will take over power in the system. They are still very much in charge. So how do you think they are this much successful?
Hello, sir. How far? Well done. Have you
Mute yourself. Mute yourself. Mute yourself.
You forgot that you're online.
1:20 a.m. here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm not going to hear that since you know what, mute yourself.
Okay. KJ, mute yourself now.
Yes, sir.
Well done.
Yes, sir. The flight time will be 8 a.m. here.
Okay.
Which, I think that will be around 1 a.m. your time.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
It will touch ground here.
By 7:45 actually, local time.
Okay. You're landing in DC.
Sir?
You're landing in DC.
KJ, can you mute yourself?
Yes, I'm landing in DC.
I don't know. Who are the where should I be the production director, production manager?
So we'll just
where are the men in? We pay people to be at the background, the engine room. Go ahead.
Okay, so no problem. I say, I have to tweak my time. It's about 1 hour from my place to DC. So if it's going to be 7:45, your touchdown, I'll probably leave here.
We they pay people to they back up.
Yeah.
Solely, I think it's your generation have been paid to be at the background.
7:45.
Yes.
Not fellows. I mean, no be solely
because usually there's no parking place.
No
parking place in the airport there.
The engine room of Dr. Damage's show is heavily mounted
going around until the person waiting for comes.
Okay. But I'm sure I'm not sure the gate.
Can somebody write on the comment section? Maybe you go see that one.
When I get to the airport in the morning, I will ask the gate, the arrival gate.
Okay.
Then I will text it to you.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
no wahala.
Yes, sir.
No wahala.
All right, sir.
Okay.
All right, sir.
Well,
thank you very much.
All right. Sir. Safe trip now.
All
right.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. All right. Bye.
Okay, sir.
Hello.
Yes. Are you with us now? KJ?
Yes. I'm sorry.
Yes.
I have a visitor coming in tomorrow. I want to be sure.
We could hear your whole conversation.
No verse. No verse.
No be verse. You just expose the scheme where Dr. Damage they run. We donate millions of dollars to this show every day for people to be at the background working. Where are they? That's where they go sleep. We'll be screaming.
Right I'm the only one. Thank you, Soli, for even trying to make me. I thought Soli was waving me to make his comment. I was seeing, but I didn't know what to say.
No, because everybody they shout.
That is.
I never even talk. Now you ask question, then you just jump into your call.
Sorry,
that was it.
My brother KJ, please. We know we are joking, but being a moderator of a program, you have to be consciously awake with your communication, because it's very, very important. You should know that if you're operating with two systems, you should be able to know when to mute yourself, because it's very, very important for you. You know, you are speaking to the public, and the conversation, we know that it wasn't a bad conversation, but normally it's a private conversation. We are not supposed to know what program you're having tomorrow. So you have to be conscious of that. I'm just giving an advice, because it's very, very important that you should try to separate your phones. You know, but like for me, for example, I have a personal phone, I have work phone. And when my work phone rings, if I'm doing something personal, I don't pick my phone. Because more especially if I'm off work. right? But if I'm working, I have to pick the phone. You know, so it's because of something like this that I did what I did. I separated my phone, you know, so that when my private phone comes in that has to do with my family and friends, I will know if I'm in a position to pick the phone. If I don't pick it, they know that I am not in a position to pick the phone. Okay.
Okay, let's not make it a topic. Thank you so much. I'm not using a phone. If I use a phone, I would not be able to. I'm on the laptop on a tabletop, an iMac actually.
You just forgot to mute yourself. That's what happened.
That's all, and it's not a common occurrence. All right, go ahead, sir. Go ahead.
Yeah.
So okay,
yeah.
I even jumped on this because me, I was already pissed off from the last session.
Okay, please now remove the thing from your nose, sir. We are not feeling frightened.
Go ahead. Okay, go ahead, Soli.
It's inhaler. It has mint inside.
Yes, I know it's inhaler.
So yeah, I came in because we were talking about, you know, people should leave their tribalism, this one and that one. You know, my last session here just made me realize that Nigerians, people are complaining, oh, Nigerians are not hungry enough. Nigerians are, and I had to add it together that Nigerians are not looking for solution because they don't want the system to change. They are just jealous that they are not in that position. That's just it. Because if you are angry, you would have scattered the country. We know how an angry person will scatter the whole place, right? But they want the system to stay the same way it is. So when they speak out and they are not doing any action, it's because they are jealous. I was speaking on ways to solve your problem. People were telling me I'm saying rubbish. So that means that these people, they don't want change. They are just jealous that they are not in that position. That is it. So Nigerians are not going to be angry. Nigerians are still Nigerians. You see, when they did their last protest, and I was just, deep down, my heart was just breaking all through. Throughout this whole election, all the people that I thought wanted change is a lie. They just wanted to look for where they can eat. That's just it. Nigerians they are not going to stop their tribalism. The average Nigerian would rather win an argument than better his life. That's the truth. The average Nigerian, so forget, previous generation messed up. Our generation messed up. But they know how to pretend like they are good, though. That's the difference between our own generation. They know how to pretend. They are very good pretenders. Like they want a good system, but they are messed up too. So it's the next generation. All this preaching, save it for the next generation. Just like Moses. Moses never saw the promised land, though, but he took the people there. We may never see the promised land, but we need to start investing into the foundation of the next generation so that they will not turn out like the old heads that we have in that country.
So I have a question for you, Soli. Do you think we can see the next generation? I said that, bear in mind before you answer, that the opposition, the biggest opposition party in Nigeria, ADC, had to look for a place to hold their political rally. And even when they succeeded in getting one place, the owner called it off at the last place. And even when they insisted that they're going to use the place, the owner locked up the toilet, every facility, put off the generator and all that. And still, we are living under the law. Do you think there's going to be in Nigeria in the next generation if we go in this order?
You see, the fact that your generation sees ADC as a viable party in the first place shows the amount of corruption. This is not an insult, but I would say that most of your minds are so
now, hold so I think I answer together. Hold on. Now, I like what you said. ADC is not a viable party to go through. Which one with the viable party? So as you're talking, be giving us the solution to the
Right. Now, the fact that you don't see any problem with ADC is in fact a very big problem. You wanted to play a game, right? The opposition, the winner, the champion of the game, right? They are corrupt. They are the king of corruption. So what your generation decided to do was to take a lesser corrupt system and use it to fight a big corruption. It's like you are saying two thieves should fight, but one has a machine gun, one has knife. Obviously, the one with machine gun will win. But if you bring a good person who can call the police, who can call authorities, who can fight for themselves, because they know that they are good, they know that you can't muzzle them down. Okay, if I'm Tinubu myself, right? and all these criminals are saying they want to oppose me, I will lock all of them in jail. I won't lock only El-Rufai, I will literally lock all of them in jail. All of them. I won't spare anybody. Tinubu is he's still very democratic. You know, he's still giving them a chance to display. I will lock every single one of them. What are they going to do? What? They all stole money. They all did criminal acts. What are they going to do? What? There's nothing they can do to me. I'm the biggest corrupt guy there. And I will show you how corruption is done properly. I will show you how I can use the Nigerian government is very powerful. The reason why you think that they are weak is because they don't like to punish each other. If the Nigerian police force wants to work, corruption will end in Nigeria in less than a year. But they don't want to show their true power, because if they show their true power, you keep on asking them for more and more and more and more till they fully fix the system. When you want to fight this kind of people, you fight them with people that have clean slates and nothing to hide. There's no way you can tackle them. For example, now, if you lock somebody like El-Rufai, he's not going to have public sympathy. Nobody is going to come out and fight for him because he's a crook. But if you lock somebody like Derish Farotimi, people will stand up without you telling them. They will stand up to fight for him. So if you have a group of opposition, many people that people will stand up for without being paid, you win the game. Because what are you going to lock them up for? If you lock them up, then there's abuse of power. But if you lock Malami up, which abuse of power is that? You are just locking up a petty criminal. And you may want to argue with me, which is why I don't see the point in facing the direction of your generation, because you have accepted illegality as normality. And there's nothing that is going to change that. You can't teach an old dog new tricks. You know, I'm just waiting for your generation to die off. Sorry to say, it's not an insult.
Please, can I ask the speaker a question?
Just 1 minute.
Okay.
And I'm not just saying it's your generation thing. I've seen it in my generation also. My generation, they are very good pretenders. They also don't want the system to change. They are just very good at pretending, you know, like they are suffering. They are just very good at, you know, gaining public sympathy. But they are no different. They are absolutely no different. They want to be as corrupt as the current sitting politicians.
Okay, thank you so much. Solly, before you go, I think, you know, before I allow Masker to ask that question, I also want to remind you that we have given your generation a lot of ample opportunity. I will call their name before we finish here. Generations that like you who have actually sold Nigeria for a kobo. So what we are simply saying here that the whole system is corrupt, and we need a few good men. We don't need everybody to be good. We need a few good men. In every nation on earth, it's a few good men that change it. It's not everybody, because majority of the people are going to be playing against you. You just need to be strategic enough. But I think Masker has a question for you, so let me leave him to ask you a question. Ovi, I'm coming to you after that. Yes, Masker, please ask him your question. Say you had
all right. What's the name I'm seeing there?
Solly.
Solly.
Yes.
Okay. So you were speaking of generation. So because me, I like things defined. When you say your generation, what exactly do you mean?
There's a certain mindset each generation has. There's a certain amount of you know, thing that each generation accepts.
No, I'm not talking of the details of what is the mind in that, but I want you to delineate what you mean by generations. So how many generations do we have now in Nigeria, for instance? And then you can delineate these generations.
Okay, we have the Tinubu generation, obviously, the old heads, people I would say at least 50 and above. Then below that, we have people in their like 30s and 40s, you know, early 30s, late 40s. I'll say that's another generation. Then when you say,
hold on, so first, so the generation you are referring to now is 50, anybody 50 and above. That's your generation. When you talk of your generation, you're talking about anybody that is 50 and above.
No.
Okay.
50 and under. He's talking about 50 and under.
50 and under.
No. When he says, because he has said it now like 3 times, your generation. So he said the first generation, he said Tinubu's generation, 50 and above.
Yeah, around that 50s and above, yeah.
Okay, so what's the generation? Is there any generation ahead of them, or they are the...
I pack all of them together.
Okay, anybody 50 and above is in one generation in the country.
What is your point?
No, it's a question. Which one is what?
There is no fixed number. There is no fixed number, right? If you are looking for something that is fixed.
Okay, I understand that it may not be 50 exact. I get that.
Yeah.
So maybe somebody who is 50, somebody who is 45.
Okay, should I use this panel as an example?
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. Me, you, Ovie, I consider us in the same generation. Mr. KJ,
no,
Mr.
I'm certainly for sure I'm not in your generation. Go and write it down.
How old are you?
No, I think let's reverse it. How old are you so that I can answer you?
No, you look young. You don't look like their age.
I understand. Okay, thank you for the compliment. I take it. But the question is, so how old are you? Don't worry, this thing is not a big deal. I mean,
if you tell me, I asked you first. If you tell me your age, I tell you my age.
Okay, so here's what I think, Maska. He is thinking that anybody who is 50.
Okay, no, KJ, sorry, KJ.
Sorry, let me help you. 20 years is a generation. 20 years is a generation. 25 years is a generation.
Sorry, my first child is 30 years old.
Oh.
Oh. So sorry.
No, but
20 years. See, let me help you with your calculation. 20 years.
Hold on. Maska's people marry early. So don't think Maska may have married at the age of 20 or 21. So you can't use that as yardstick for measuring his age.
But the guy, because he knows that he's so more than 30 now. So what are you saying? I'm not in his generation.
Yes. No, so solely. See, a generation, 25 years consists a generation. So that should help your argument.
No, Ovid, let's not do this. The man, I like the way he speaks. The man has created his own concept, because what I think is one of our problems also in the country is the language we speak. Somebody says one thing, it means one thing for him. The other person says something, it means something else for him. So we are always in a limbo of confusion. We are not really truly aligning our language. Before I say anything, I wanted the man. It's not for you now, you or V, to say, oh, this is what the man is thinking. The man is alive. So I wanted to...
I'm just trying to say in terms of, because you're kind of confused with the number. It's not trying to understand, what you're saying with the number. That's why I put number to it. That a generation is 20 years, so that you can structure your argument to your own understanding. I'm not trying to...
No. It's exactly the point I'm making. I want us to follow his own structure in his mind. Let's understand what driving at, not our own mind.
I don't think it's for me. It doesn't really matter. I just believe that anybody from my age group and above, they are already set in their ways. They are not going to really listen to anything new or expect anything different. They believe that.
Fantastic. So surely you see. So if by this your statement now, so that means me and you now we are in the same generation, because anybody older than anybody your age and above, we are all in the same generation. The problem you have with me now is because you're talking to us in this panel and you're saying your generation, and just now you are adding yourself to that generation, saying anybody from your age and above, they are set in their ways, meaning that is your generation you're talking about. No, I just want to understand, because I agree with you to a large extent, but I want to be sure we are talking about the same thing.
I differentiated it in two ways, right? For me, the people that are way older, right, they are set in their ways. But my generation, right, what the difference I wanted to make is they know how to pretend like they want change, right? Pretense is the difference. Pretense. They know how to come out to tell you that things are going on. They know how to protest. They know how to make long speeches, right? When you look at people like this, Randy Peters, and there's another guy also, you are able to buy into what they are saying. But the reality is that once you put them on that platform to choose, right, and to make decisions and to take actions, they behave exactly like the older generation, the people in their 60s, 70s, the Buhari kind of people they complain about, the Tinubu kind of people, they behave the same exact way, right? When Tinubu comes out to talk, he's very blunt and straightforward. When Buhari comes out to talk, when the older generation come out, they are very blunt and straightforward. You know where they sit down, you know where they are directed towards to. There is no mistaking it. The generation below them are very deceitful. Very, very deceitful.
Okay. There are two examples. One is this guy that has been given a ambassadorial place that they sent him back. What's his name?
Reno Mockery.
And so you are referring to people like Reno?
Those kind of people, yes, those kind of people.
People like
he's also like that. He's also like that.
People like
people like Very Dark Man too. Also like that.
But Daniel Boala is your class of people now.
No, Daniel Boala.
Yes, now.
No, he's older than Soli.
How old is Daniel Boala?
Very Dark Man also.
Very Dark Man also. I include him also.
Okay, so let's move on. I think we'll have let's move on. All right, conclude.
Sorry, KJ. I mean, I wanted that definition because there's something I wanted to point out to Soli also. Quickly, I will do it with your permission. You see, Soli, I think when you are making your analysis, there's something also that you need to put at the back of your mind. And this is the fact that when you are young, when you're youthful, you see me that you see me. When I was younger, I was always on the street. I am a Muslim. Even when we go to riot, I will go and pray a final prayer that, look, I don't mind whether they kill me or not. But as you grow older, you lose your innocence, so to speak. I'm not making excuses, but I'm saying that the history of people, if you go and look at Che Guevara, people like all the stories of the people, the revolutionaries you hear, they are not old people. This Mandela that we talk about was not Mandela at 70 or 50. So I'm just saying that if you're going to blame a generation, I would rather blame the younger people because it's the youth that are supposed to fight for any society. The society that will look up to old people to fight for it is already a lost society. Thank you.
I wasn't looking up to old people to fight for it.
Okay.
I think.
All right, let's move on because we have more guests in. Okay, go ahead.
I even forgot what I was even trying to.
No worry, we'll come back to you, Soli. Go ahead, okay.
Nigeria, for me, I think this argument where I kind of disagree with Masca here is that younger people fight for the nation or society. I agree, but there is there has to be a relationship between the younger generation and the middle generation, which you belong to, who are looking for power. Right? Those who are in power, which Soli is referring to, the Tinubu and co, they are already gone. The onus is now on you and me, who are next in power, to form a relationship with the energy that you think should be the fighting spirit, the younger people. That relationship comes in two folds: organizing them with our experience and also financing them with our financial capability.
This is exactly what I'm doing over here. I'm trying to handle.
No. I agree with you. No, it's not individual. I'm talking about generational level. That's where it's not about you or me or Soli himself. That's where the generational phrase come into play. Right? Individually, everybody do whatever he can. And I think that is where we fail as collectively. Ability for us to work together, the younger people to put that energy together collectively. I don't go blame them because they don't have experience. They don't have that experience, yes, which is where you talk about losing innocence. They are not, I think they are still very raw. But we don't pass that level, right? Some of us are financially okay, and some of us are well educated enough to bring that organizing structure. And that's where we are failing. That's why when these leaders come before us on screen, they say, oh, leadership is the problem. Leadership is the problem. Yes, but leadership at what level?
I'm not looking forward to those people who are sitting in the government house to actually look to take care of me. No, our reality is different. If I'm looking forward to them to do something, then I fail. But those who are looking for power, right? And that is where the anger of the young generation to be directed to. But instead, they are so clever enough to say, oh, leadership is the problem. Leadership is the problem. You are the problem. You where they look for power, right? You come to me every time and lie to me. And that's why I cannot disagree with KJ too on this narrative ADC is playing around. Tinubu and ADC are the problem. No, that's a stupid excuse. And the fact that people are falling for it is what I don't understand. Now, hear me and you, there's a president called Donald Trump. Waiting this our opposition don't face for Tinubu and what Trump never face. If they don't face after waiting Trump face, they didn't give up. Trump from day one when he lose the election, he said he no lose. 2 years before the next election, now he declared. It has never before happened before in American history. He was not scared. They tried to take him out of ballot paper from Colorado to wherever. They sent out 35 criminal charges were filed against him. They sent him to jail. I mean, what has they never thrown to Donald Trump? Bullets. But guess what?
Just for the record of it. No, I'm just putting on record that I completely agree with everything you said. Just to
I respond to it. KJ's ADC excuses. No, be your point again. ADC excuses. What did then Donald Trump do? Donald Trump stand. They collect all the whatever the opposition could throw at him, from lawfare to whatever. They're trying to bankrupt him. But guess what? The movement, right? Which is where I kind of they blame the obedience and Obi. Obi is taking all the insult, all the bullet from the day when he lose the election. But where are the obedience doing? They lack organization structure. The MAGA did not go on every platform, begin complain, say Democrats will kill them. They were focused because they know if they lose the election again, it's going to be worse. Just like if Tinubu was again, the next 4 years is going to be worse.
Okay.
So all these men, hold on, all these men, they jump from one place to another, complaining. They complain from 2023, they call this today, and they are still complaining. And would they fall for them? No.
Okay.
That's where frustration or solely is coming from.
Okay.
We are just making excuses.
I'm not frustrated, though.
No, I'm
Okay.
No,
Okay.
see.
All right. Go. Okay, you need to stop now.
Yes. All right.
Now, listen. Just like Masca said, you see, when we are much younger, we've done this, we've been in the street, we have marched with the people there to change this Nigeria. I don't want to tell my story, but leave it at that. I want you to know something.
No, that's not.
Hold on. Oh, I let you talk. Now let me talk. You see, I pity for the people who are in ADC. You know why? You are quoting America. There's a level of this thing you can bring against an individual here, and you go away with it. In Nigeria, there is no stopping point. Because now in America, if you refuse me government house and I go to an individual's place to go and rent a hall, you have no right to go and threaten that individual not to give me that hall.
KJ, are you scared of your friends and your neighbors and your brothers and sisters? Are you scared of them?
Hold on.
You are Tinubu and the rest of them. They are our friends and brothers.
Hold on. On this channel, I said something. I said the ADC made the first mistake. The first mistake they made was they gave Wike the right to run shoulder in the whole of FCT. I said it here because that will now boost their ego that they can do anything and get away with it. If I was in ADC and I'm in Abuja at that time, I would have also mobilized. Everybody will be in the street together with the Wike. All the leaders of ADC should have gone out to campaign and be in the street with those people, so that they will fight ADC. They will fight with APC, shoulder to shoulder until that is ended. Now, I haven't said that.
My point.
Hold
on. What have they been doing?
There is a statement of Babangida that will study international relations. He said what? He was talking to some opposition leader. Say, don't forget, we're not only in power, we are also in government. Simple. Two things it means here. I can decide to take a government action against you, and nothing you can do about it. Nothing you can do about it. So it's not a question of law now. It's a question of the fact that I have declared you a personal how do they say it? A security risk to the country.
again, you are making excuses.
And we have seen this. Look.
Now, excuses they make. This is all excuses. This is KJ. It's not about you. Don't make it personal. It's not about you. It's not about you or me. You are making it personal. We're talking about generational excuses. Yeah. Right? We are talking about people who are making excuses. The people they are making excuses for, are they not Nigerians? What are they scared of? If you say Donald Trump in America, okay. The people, the Tola Tinubu and APC, are they Cameroonians? Are they not Nigerians? Why are the opposition scared? Why are they making excuses for the past 2 years? And will they believe them? That's what I'm saying. These are excuses.
My
what
brother,
are you talking about?
Mwachuku just made a comment, and I like to highlight that comment. What's he saying? He's saying that, in as much as I don't like Abiola, his politics or proteges, you must combine what? Hold on, let me put it up.
Amen. So stand your ground. Now war, but this is a matter of life and death. If you really want to change things, nobody go. Jesus, if I'm a president today, I go wait. Make una the plan against me.
Ovie, listen. Before I bring Chris in, there's something that they used to teach us those days. When we were young men, we are very brave. We take the bull by the horn and face the consequence. But some elderly man told us that, you see, the fool lives to point to the grave of the brave man. So you need to
again. We are not talking about young men. We're talking about opposition political party. People where they look for power. It is not about young people. You keep drinking. You are drinking away. Stick with the question you ask. ADC, the narrative they are playing. That is the question you ask. I am deducing that narrative. You should go poll. That's nothing to do with young people. We're talking about political party and leadership excuses.
Calm down. Okay, let's move on. Maybe when you are calm down, we'll talk about it. Hey, Chris, go ahead. I can see your hand. Hold on. Chris, go ahead.
Well, the reaction. Hello, everyone. Hello.
Hello.
Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. We're hearing you, Chris. Go ahead.
Sorry,
now, because of your calmness.
Is this the reaction to the gender?
Yes.
Yeah. Actually, most of the things that he said, I can associate myself with. However, the only aspect I do not think he, when he says this state, local government, all the structures had to stay. The reason being that federation is a union of constitution. If there's no constitution at the state level, then it cannot be called it cannot be called a federation. That is on that side. Now again, he also, because I pointed out to him that what is going on in Nigeria today is an attempt to internal colonization, which over the years, which over the years has been very subtle. But it seems to me that when Buhari came, he decided to, in attempt to grab power, he decided to accelerate it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he wanted to accelerate it. Now, what I have seen today is that there is a laziness on the part of the so-called intellectuals in Nigeria to understand how to build a nation. Obviously, we know from history that when Nigeria was when the white men were living, there was a discussion between Awolowo, Azikiwe, and Ahmadu Bello on what to do with the contraption the white man constructed for them. Now, according to that's their discussion, Zeke opted a kind of what I would call hybridization. That is collapsing all the ethnicities into one nation. Okay, which is not natural, which is not natural. Just like in America, what you have in America is where a group of people moved from one country and went to another place, wiped out the indigenous people, and established their own culture, their own language, their own value system. And then they ask everybody who believe in those value systems to come and plug in. So that's what I would call hybridized nation. So it doesn't matter where you come from or your religion or your ethnicity, okay? Then as long as you align with the American value system, you are allowed to operate. Now there is another version or model of building nation. In Europe in 1745, after many years of war, they start in one place called Westphalen in Germany, and realize that the futility of one ethnic nationality trying to lord it over the other or try to colonize the other. So what they agreed is that every ethnic nationality it can form a nation state. Now, while they form nation states, they also have what they call European Council. Now, within this European Council, some other groups also come together to form economic union. Now, within the same economic union, some people now come to form what they call monetary union. So there are stages of relationship, within Europe. Nigeria, another place is India. When Britain left them, they have the same challenges with Nigeria. Now they sat and say, who is India? Those from Pakistan went the other side. Those from the other side went to, this is based on largely religion, but not mostly that they don't have Muslims in India. But what has happened also in India, they have various ethnic nationality in India, okay? So the Indians, what they have is like in Punjab, like in Tamil, like you have all this ethnic nationality. The big ones are allowed to form one state. So when you go to India, you have the big country, the big ethnic nationality forming one state, whereas the smaller ones are encouraged to come together to form states, and then, with each one, a local government and all the rest of them, so they just much like you have in Belgium and you have in Switzerland. These are different ways to form federation, but because of selfish interests, those founding, or what you people call founding fathers, because they are not founding fathers as far as I'm concerned. Lugard is the founding father of Nigeria. So those people, they left the country to run because of their selfish interests. In the case of Awolowo, he wants to eat his cake and have it. And in case of Azikiwe, he wants to run a very big nation. And in case of Ahmadu Bello, he wants to colonize every other ethnic nationality. These are historical facts. Now, as I can see it today, because we have lots of technology and we have a lot, so information are always very easy to disseminate. Because of technology, information are always easy to disseminate. So the reason why some of us come here, sometimes I come here and I discuss the importance of culture and national development, because last time I came here was trying to, but he never allowed me to speak about the culture, is that Nigeria as it is today is one culture trying to dominate the other cultures. And this has become the biggest problem. And as long as they continue this way, Nigeria will never settle. You know? So maybe I will stop here as we go on. Maybe I can expand more.
Okay. Thank you.
Can I disagree?
Yes, please go ahead.
You see, this culture thing, I would say our culture has done more harm to us than good, because we allow the culture where we can't question our elders. So we had terrible people in the society taking advantage of so many things that we have in our culture. They took as much advantage of it till they got to the power where they are now abusing us, and they are still using our culture against us. And all these things are, at the end of the day, in summary, it's just a let's divide Nigeria and everybody separate our ways and go our own ways narrative at the end of everything. That's just the summary. But when we leave Nigeria, we mix with other cultures. We live with other cultures. We live a good life. In fact, we work better with Nigerians outside Nigeria. And all these issues are of let's separate and go our way does not used to come up. If Nigeria is working, all these things you are saying, you will not think about it. Just like when you leave Nigeria and you go to a society that is working, you don't think about Yoruba, Igbo, Hausa, somebody trying to dominate. It's just a distraction. It's a real distraction. And even if you want to separate, you still have to work with other tribes. You have to agree with them. Other tribes have to agree with you in order to separate. You can't just say, I'm packing my bag and I'm leaving. And if you feel like this is what everyone in your culture agrees with, you have politicians in high power that can make it happen in less than a month, but they will never do it. So it's a distraction that will not die until a certain generation dies with it. These are the kind of examples that I'm bringing. Or it will continue to poison the mind of the next generation. This thing has been repeated and repeated and repeated and has never worked. The next generation have to come up with new solutions. You can't keep on forcing down the same narrative over and over and over again into the next generation.
Okay.
That's it.
Thank you so much.
Can I chime in? Can I ask the young man?
No, you can't come in. John Abba have been here since.
Just a question. I'm asking. I want to ask him a question.
If you ask me a question now, you have to answer. And John Abba
no. Just a question. Then I'll let
okay,
go.
ask your question. He will not answer immediately, but he will come back later and answer it. So
Solly, do you understand the concept of self-determination?
I probably knew Nnamdi Kanu before you knew him. So yes, I do.
I didn't say anything about Nnamdi Kanu. I asked a question. The
Yes,
concept
I
of
do.
self-determination.
Yes, I do.
You do understand that?
Yes.
And you understand it applies to nations, right?
Yes.
People, right? The people.
Yes.
Okay, then that's fine.
All right, thank you. Let's move on. Janaba, go ahead.
KJ and fellow panelists, it's nice to be here. It's on Sunday. You look churchy as usual, and hope you have a good time. On Chido issue, I follow with his own view. I think his father is still alive. He's 90-something years old, he said, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he's 60, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I think his father have more pure heart and understand the dynamic of life more than him. And I don't think anybody should pray of living long or living. Long life is for those that think their purpose has to be wrapped up with age they leave this world. That's not because I heard him saying that. And with White Gemo, I don't think he want to stay in pain for that long. His father looked greater than him. I don't think his narrative of separating Nigeria or operate, I don't think the mentality, if you go to the north, is no different from the west, it's no different from the east. What we need is a true leader, a very radical leader, and deal with our mentality and set a higher bar but not this mediocre running the street of Nigeria from one place to another, trying to change Nigeria through voting system. Democracy is for the weak, and it's not made, they give it to us, they control us with it. We have our structure before the coming of before the colonizers. And if we could have grown in our own path, we might have been in a better people today. But since everything about us been stolen and giving us fake for original thing that we are born with, endowed with, we continue to struggle. I'm looking forward one day when the voice of the man will go stand on the mountain and it will go through the whole Nigeria to other African, and then we will wake up as a black people. But the nation of we love ourselves, just like one young man said now. Outside Nigeria, if I see you now, I will embrace you. The only way Nigeria, the only place Nigerians cannot live to their God-given potential is in Nigeria. Outside Nigeria, we're one people. So why can't we use that spirit to build our own nation? And the notion that we compare ourselves with India and Pakistan, Afghanistan, and all those people there, it's a different culture, it's a different uh, tradition, it's a different belief system. We, the Black people, we choose to abandon our own path. We refuse to work on it. We always jump to admire other people's structure instead of creating our own. The way it worked with us before the beginning of civilization, we all could have grown on that path. But the notion of him coming here to say that, oh, the local government and all those are petty things. And I'm glad he's not co-hosting with Rudolph now, because he's not going to find it easy with people like me, because that mindset does not. We are trying to move forward. Some people today will criticize Nnamdi Azikiwe. It was too big, he's a nationalist, a Pan-African, because that is the big heart. All those things in America here, I think Texas, I think if it's not bigger than Nigeria in the landmark. So, and there's a road, there's electricity, and we have 50-something states in America. We connected with infrastructure. And then we are supposed one Nigeria that we cannot even secure that country. A bandit is kidnapping people broad daylight. It's a failure, a total failure of government and people that don't know what they're doing. And that is why we are struggling. I think if Nigerian is working, nobody will be talking this way. Let's go this way. And we still need Nigerian to work if we get a true leader that can unite us and set a standard, not this mediocre standard, or a person going to be going from one party to another. What's the difference between ADC and APC? There's absolutely no difference. These are vultures who have sucked the life of Nigerians and sucked the nation, run it down. So what are they talking about? Tinubu is even kind. And because when of your finger touch oil, the rest will not deny it. If it's like me there or any other person that have not been part of that, all of them, they will know where they belong to by now. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, my brother Janaba. Unfortunately, I've thought about what you have said, and deeply also. In fact, 2 days ago, I sat down to think about it, especially when the ADC was holding their forum. And to be fair, what you guys have said, which is what Soli also have said, is quite true. But the question is now the case of in the land of the blind. A one-eyed man is a king. Now, somebody has to lead. I mean, it's just like what Dr. Chudi said this morning or this afternoon. Okay, the leadership has to come amongst you. So why don't we, within the whole vultures on ground, choose the best vulture that's at least that's a little fat and not too lean, so it could not take too much of our resources. But the truth is, and continues to remain, that somebody has to lead this election, unless, of course, we are choosing to go the Showore way. Even when it has to do with revolution is also controlled. Somebody has to lead it because there has to be an outcome at the end of the day. That's my own opinion. I may be wrong, but that is what I think. And Bonaventure is here to tell us whether what we are thinking is true or not. No, sorry, let him speak first. We'll come back to you. All right, Bonaventure. Yeah, we can hear you.
Good evening, everyone. Hi. Hello. Can you hear me now?
Go ahead, sir. Can hear you.
Sorry. I think yes. I just listened to. Has he gone? John. John.
No, I think he's backstage. Yeah, but it's not.
Okay, right. So now, yes, he started out. Well, I think was talking about having in other words, it's kind of all the current politicians, at least, okay, let's say in the opposition, none of them is worth anything. I don't know how he described his ideal candidate, somebody who can lead us to in the promised land. But I don't really know what he believes in or what he wants. Okay, so KJ, what's the question you want me to address specifically? Kind of pose the question.
You have been on. I don't know why you want to, but Dr. Chido.
Okay, yes.
He spoke at length on many issues, many national issues that that is what addressing. For instance, he said that the federation itself is deliberately making people creating that forum for division by including certain things that shouldn't be there. I mean, why should you live in Sokoto State and after so many years they were asked to go back to Meduguri because you're not an indigenous of Sokoto State?
Right. Okay. So right. Yes. Let's and of course maybe some of the issues have been picked up by some speakers here. Now, for example, Chris talked about culture, and Soli seems to think that is not something important. Now, but sometimes as a people, we don't really have to reinvent the wheel. Okay, in life, certain things are just the way they are. Okay, now we have been in this business, experimenting. Nationhood or statehood. I don't know what else we need to see or learn to come to the conclusion that the project needs rethinking because it's not working. So this and the fact of the matter is this, that it's not that different peoples cannot form, if like a nation or a modern state, but at least there has to be some honesty, really, sincerity of purpose. People have to kind of believe or want to live together, and they have areas of common interest, areas of disagreement. This thing should kind of be spelled out and be on the table. Nothing should be off the table. Now, for example, if some sections of the country, I'm not talking about the nation now, at least a country, governed by rule of law, supposedly, because at least we have to have some common standards, that we have one jurisprudence, one system of law to which everyone is subject. So, so these are kind of the basics, really. And then if within that agreed setup framework, some people, for whatever reason, it may be just the way they look at life, their philosophy, outlook on life, decide to have certain, maybe say Sharia, for example. I think other participants in this project shouldn't be stand on their way. Okay. in the same way, such values shouldn't be forced down the throat of those of their counter, the partners in the project. In other words, kind of coming together really and put everything on the table. There's I talked self-determination. That's important. We live in the modern world, and we can only develop a modern state.
Yeah, hold on. Hold on. I said it, sir. You can round up. Dr. Chido said that the Nigeria have become too interwoven that self-determination should be out of the question now. He's not saying that it's not doable, but he's saying that it is too difficult to be realized in a peaceful way. If that is tried, we'll probably all be broken into two. We'll be too fragmented to be able to form a nation. And my own opinion on that is that is not. I don't agree with that. That's part of what I don't agree with in his submission, because when the military sat down in 1967 to divide to create the 12 states, nobody went around looking for the boundaries. Which place is the Yoruba tribe stop? Which place did the Shekiri start? Nobody went around. They just decided to draw the thing the way they wanted it, and that's it. And then we became that state, 12 states. Nobody was represented in their creation. And eventually, when it chose to make it 19, the same thing happened. When it chose to make it 20 something, so the same when it chose to make it 36 now, in fact 37 now, because recently Wike added one state to the states, because now Abuja is a state now. So when it said to add Abuja to, nobody went. So why then will it be difficult for us to say, okay, now we have come to a point of irreconcilable difference and we need to all go as why will it be so difficult for us to say, okay, we can now go from here? Why? What's the reason?
Okay, all right. Sorry. Okay, first of all, to say that self-determination is or we've traveled too far. That no, I don't think so. Not because again, it's part of really this kind of sincerity of purpose and having been honest about the situation. Not because we live not every ethnic group, okay, as a matter of fact, can, if you like, form a nation state. Okay. Every group can be recognized, right, and respected, have equal respect under the law. But in terms of the size and population, that counts, right? The number of people. So if we're talking about self-determination, for example, or maybe if you regionalism or whatever, you have to major zones, and you want to kind of have a structure on that basis. Invariably, you're gonna have minorities. Is again a fact of life. You cannot do away with that, because some groups are much larger and can easily be a nation state by their by the sheer size of their population, and therefore the smaller groups, the minority has to be part of it. But what is important is having kind of a framework, a system that gives everyone equal protection under the law. Right, everybody has to have equal right. Now, but the large populations, the large large nations have to have self-determination, have to be in a position to really determine their own destiny, right? So the fact of Nigeria, is an artifact, shouldn't swallow, if like their nationhood, their aspiration and their self-determination. So this is the minorities are going to be part of these self-determining nations at any event. What is important is like as I said, a modern state we're talking about. We're not gonna go back. We live in the modern world. We're not going back or inventing the way. So these things have been practiced. There should be a constitution, a rule of law to which every person, every individual is subject. But having a country where we don't have, if like a common, a common vision, a common aspiration, a common philosophy, no common culture, That's going to be difficult. I don't see how you can get around that. That's my view of the situation. It's going to be difficult, but with like good way, honesty and addressing problems we have, everything on the table. That's the only way we can make a headway. That's just my view.
Yeah. All right. Thank you so much.
I have a question. Can I ask me a question? One question.
Okay, hold on. Let's go one by one. Soli, you have 1 minute to ask your question, followed by Ovie. Then we'll go to Jago, please.
Please, this thing that you're asking for, what leverage do you have to demand it? And please, when I'm talking about leverage, I'm not talking about like Uzobo, like trying to aggressively get it, because they will always beat you down. No matter how many times you try, no matter how many times you try to be aggressive, Nigerian state will always beat you. Even if you create your own nuclear weapons, they will always beat you.
Okay, so let me answer the question.
Please, wait, please. What leverage?
Okay, yes, I understand. Let me answer the question then.
Let me finish the question. Let me finish, because you have your political leaders, you have your traditional leaders, they are not aligned with whatever you want. So my question again is, what leverage do you have to demand?
Yes, you've asked the question. Let me answer it this way. First of all, when I'm talking about self-determination, it's not just for any one group. Is that clear? So when you're talking about leverage, please, hold on, listen. I understood your question. Let me answer it.
The question is for your group. The question is because you are
excuse me.
I'm asking for your own leverage.
Let me answer your question. Okay. So I'm just telling you that a question does not arise because there's no part of Nigeria that is doing as well as it should. Okay, and therefore the structure, the framework is an impediment, to development, people's national development. So it's in everyone's interest to have a reconstitution, a restructuring. So I don't know what you mean by Zobu. So everybody has, the major groups, in fact, everybody, as a matter of fact, has to sit down and then decide, to fashion a way forward, a structure that, that will suit and fit the national aspirations of the various groups. So talking about leverage, well, the question is this: perhaps if we can get there by political process, that's the only way. The party politics we're playing, until you get the kind of leaders that really understand what national development is all about, and it's not just about power grabbing, political interest, and this. So that is the hope, and that should be the aspiration. It's not about one section of the country or one people. Every group is entitled to self-determination, is entitled to be in the position to determine their future, where they want to go, how they want to, what kind of, for example, the gentleman that came today was talking about socialism. I happen to buy into that kind of a political economy that is not after the model of the Western liberal capitalism, like social democracy or even socialism. So these are the kind of fundamental questions a people should be able to address, discuss, and decide how they want to organize their society, live their lives. Okay, it's constitutional, it's fundamental questions, right? So, but living in the like Nigeria as set up, it was never designed by our people. Chris talked about, who are the founding fathers? Well, in a way, he's right. Now, because those that created Nigeria weren't thinking about their interest, which was essentially exploitative. They wanted resources, extractive. So they didn't just create Nigeria for the benefit of Nigerians, for the interest of Nigerians, but for their own interest. So when will Nigerians, the people that live in this geographical space called Nigeria, have the opportunity to actually, discuss and determine, the kind of society, the kind of nation, they want to build? That's the challenge.
So what is the leverage? You didn't really answer me.
What do you mean leverage? It has to be politicians. People, look, you have to have politicians that are aware that.
What is your current leverage? What leverage do you have right now?
Okay, you have to participate in politics and put the right people in power. That's
so
the
you have
leverage.
no leverage.
What do you mean by leverage? It has to be politicians.
So you have no leverage then.
What do you mean leverage? What do you mean? Are you gonna get power from heaven? It has to be human beings having the agency, having the consciousness, the awareness the understanding.
That is not going to happen anytime soon. That's not happening. So what?
Oh, I don't know when. I don't know when. But at least you have to start somewhere. You have to have the understanding first. Okay, because I mean everything, ideas, right? Ideas change the world. If you don't have right ideas, you're not going anywhere. You just
you've been pushing these ideas in your generation, and you are trying to.
What do you mean generation? And what about their own generation? What are they doing?
Push it to the next generation with no leverage,
sorry. Everybody, listen.
Just what you are pushing people is to wuru to the answer. Just rush and get the answer. There's no structure. There's no leverage. There's no plan to get there.
I've told you. Gentlemen,
you are leading the youth into a directionless road, a directionless route, a directionless path.
All right, we need to move. You know, earlier on, that's why I didn't want to let this thing go this way. Ovier.
Yeah, I kind of agree with what OT is saying about the larger tribe or group of people should seek for self-determination. At the same time, the minority also have the right to choose their allegiance. And the last time I checked, after the end of the Civil War, we, the minority, decided to say we are pitching our tent with the Nigerian state. So all those ones that you are talking, only una will go. If you are assuming that the minority will follow now, that's a lost goal.
Ovier. Hold on, guys. Hold on.
I'm telling you our reality. You're talking about sure. I'm not assuming. I'm telling you we have made our decision to pitch with Nigeria. You say we are assuming.
Hold on.
Yes.
Okay, hold on. You see, majority of the Civil War was fought by the Middle Belt. Okay? So when we're talking about Civil War, who were the major actors of the Civil War? They are the Middle Belt. What's the Middle Belt?
KJ, did you hear what I said?
Hold on. I heard what I said, and that's where I'm going.
What did I say?
What you said, that the majority have the right to choose, to have their way, but the minority also have the right to choose where they want to belong.
And we have chosen.
And hold on. No, you are speaking as Ovier now. So
as a minority. No. I'm speaking as a minority. We have chosen to pitch our tent with the Nigerian state.
No. You no, that's case.
You won't speak. See, you want to speak for yourself or your people. You don't want to speak for us. See where the problem lies.
Hold on. I'm going to speak as somebody who has been a major player in these discussions.
This is not about player. I'm telling you where we want to go.
Hold on.
Where you play your game, make I play my own now.
Okay, let me ask something. Were you there when the people of the Middle Belt had a meeting with the people of Southeast? Were you there?
I am not speaking for Middle Belt. I'm not from Middle Belt.
But you said the minority, which means that all of you now have come
you don't know. You see them now. You don't want me to join all the majority together. The Yorubas, the Igbos, the Apis, but you don't join the minority. Hold on.
You can't join them together.
See, this is where the problem is, right? You want the minority the majority want to have their way and still determine how the majority should feel.
No,
that's not going to work.
All right, no problem.
It's not going to work.
Okay. No.
We have decided to especially in Niger Delta, have decided to preach our Nigerian. Deal with that.
I wanted to say Niger Delta.
No, of course. Deal with that. We have decided to settle with the
let's move to Jagun. Jagun has to say
something. Do you see what I mean by their generation? They are all the same.
I get your point.
Hold on.
They are just jealous. They are not engaged.
You have spoken more than every other person. Let Jagun also speak, please. All right, go ahead, Jagun.
Good evening, guys. I'm a little bit unhappy with you, KJ. You took long to bring me in. Very long.
But you see, I've been fighting to bring you in. I agree.
No, not in terms of when I'm on. I was backstage for a long time. And I even wrote you. You didn't look at it to bring me in. Anyway.
Sorry, I didn't see it. I would have brought you in. I don't have anything against you. Bro.
I'm sure. One has to pay attention to the job at hand. I've been listening to this evening's discussion. I slept most of the day, so I didn't catch Dr. Chido's interview, as it were. But listening to this discussion now, I'm not quite sure what everybody's talking about again. From my perspective,
you in?
I beg your pardon?
You want me to feed you in on his discussion? We're basing what we're talking about from the fallout of Dr. Chido's discussion this afternoon. And he generally broke down almost every level of Nigerian society and what he feels are the problem. One of the things that came out, which we've been trying to pieces here, is the form of leadership and the way it is being formed, and the system of constitution that we operate. That makes it almost impossible for you to be a Nigerian in total without having to, relegate yourself to one particular state or the other. Because you can live in Maiduguri, for instance, for 20 years, after which you still have to go back to Kaduna to say you are a Kaduna indigene instead of saying you are from Maiduguri. He mentioned certain small things in Nigerian way of life that have kept us totally divided along tribal lines and, of course, religious sentiments. And he said something very interesting. He said there's no other country, I don't know about that, I've not done that research, but he said there's no other country in the world that have three major tribes. It's either one or two at most, but three he has not seen. And if we see, we should let him know. I don't know, you are the one who is a linguist, and everywhere you are everywhere. So you already know there's a country somewhere. You will also enlighten us. We're here to learn.
Okay. For me, the present state of Nigeria, given the capture of state by the APC, and there not being really a party positioned to be the operational opposition to said rulership at the moment, is the state that we were always going into, because Nigeria is not led by ideology. It's just led by gangsters. And given this, the ADC is not an opposition. It is just a manipulation of individuals who have come together to defeat the present gangsters who are there. And unless we see things as they are, I don't think we're going anywhere. I just really don't like the way we discuss things. We discuss things as though they're real. They're not real. They're positioned and manipulated by forces inward in terms of Nigerian forces and forces outwardly in terms of the Western states that we tend to follow. This is the country that we have, and it's rubbish, complete rubbish. I feel that there's no point in having an election next year. There's no point, because you're not going to get anything different as a people. Nobody's going to claim any right. Nobody's going to do anything. You're just going to carry on with the same hullabaloo that we have at the moment, which is rubbish. It's not taking the people anywhere. We have no direction. We have no rights in the country as a people. Gangsterism, tribalism, religious aptitude, misappropriation is really what's running in that country, and I don't know why the people stand for it. The way I'm listening to people now, it seems like we don't like it, but we are carrying on with the same carry on, and I don't see the point. If Nigeria, the people of Nigeria, don't take power away from hoodlums, then we remain in the same position. After 60 years, I can't see why we can't see this. I can't understand how the stupor that we find ourselves in. Nigerians aren't thinkers, it seems to me. We're just peripheralating the same conditions that we've suffered under since its inception. And it doesn't tell me that we are a people of even common sense, let alone anything else. I feel strongly that Nigeria is a country, a nation, a geographical expression that is a deep experiment. And the experiment is for the world, but it is more for us in Africa to suggest and say that we people of 500 different ethnicities can live together, thrive, and succeed. If we don't take this as the experiment, then we don't really understand how God positioned us in that constitution called Nigeria. We don't understand it. We have a job to do, a real job as men of the country. And when I say men, I include the women, but I mean men. We don't behave like men. We behave like school children. Most of the time when I look at us as a people, I think, what rubbish is this? Are you using your brain or are you using your ass to think? You're not using your brain because it's obvious. Why are there so many people in that country? Jago, if there's what? Bring that guy away from me, Joe. I don't want to open that chat. Something is disturbing my screen here. Anyway, who is calling himself Bonavita? Oti Bere. You have started with mass confusion.
No, but it's a question for you.
Say it, your question.
Sorry, a question for you.
Say it.
Well, you've said there should be no election next year, and I'm asking you. So what then? So yes, what's their plan?
What there should be is the people saying enough is enough. We've had it up to our back teeth.
Okay, and how? How are they gonna say it?
I'm going to answer you, my friend.
Okay.
I've had enough. We are tied to our back teeth of the nonsense that's going on here. Tired. In our tiredness, what we should understand is that there is no way forward in what they have offered us. The way forward, therefore, is for us to take back the power, for us not to have any elections for the next 3 years, and for us to organize the whole country. Reorganize.
Who's going to be in charge?
It doesn't matter who. What I'm saying is that, listen to me, my friend.
You're not being realistic.
Are you going to listen? Are you going to listen? Or are you just going to be silly? Because
no.
what you had to say, for me, what you had to say was totally hogwash. It meant nothing.
Somebody has to be in charge.
Look, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who's in charge. It could be me. It could be you. It doesn't matter who. But
how do you get there? How do you get there? How do you get to be in charge?
You see, you're pushing me like I'm in the law court. I'm not in your law court.
That's a practical question. I mean,
it's not necessarily practical without listening. Not without listening.
I can answer your questions if you want.
No, it's not. It's my turn to speak. I've been patient. I've heard your question initially, and then you have more questions as though you're interrogating me. I don't need to be interrogated. What I'm trying to put to you is that what we have right now is useless, and it's been useless. The history is there of the uselessness of Nigerian thinking, political thinking. It's useless, rubbish. You can tell people haven't been thinking. It's obvious people haven't been thinking because nobody is satisfied. So that's the position that we are in. Given that position, it is for the people to take back the power. The power suggests that we are of a nation of 500 roughly different ethnicities. Given that fact, we look at Africa, and Africa is a greater nation of over 2,000 different ethnicities. So the larger, which is Nigeria, has an example to show so that the whole of Africa is resurrected from the pit that it finds itself in. This is the politics that we're supposed to be playing. The politics suggests that of so many different people, if we can make it make sense, then it doesn't just make sense for us, it makes sense for the whole of the planet Earth. That's what happens. Now, given that kind of responsibility, we should feel empowered to do a job for humanity.
Can I ask you a question, please?
What we have done is we've done a job for the stupor of ethnic divide, ethnic supremacy. That's what we have done, which we can now tell ourselves is very wrong. So now that we've done it the wrong way, it is now time for us as a people to do things in the correct way. The correct way
But can I
suggests
ask
to
you a
me,
question?
the correct way suggests to me that as a nation state, if we are to come together for 3 years without a political,
Without the government,
yes,
maybe without the government.
not without a government in terms of somebody organizing, but we as a people need to reorganize the government. We need to reorganize how it works, and
Okay,
that reorganization for me would take 3 good years of recapitalizing the whole state.
Jago.
No, wait. You can ask your question. Let me land.
Okay.
Which is to suggest to say that we as a nation are saying no to the rubbish that we've had before, and this is the kind of apparatus that we want. Now, the apparatus should be built over those 3 years before we position any elections at all. Now, I am a person who I don't want to use the word Pan-Africanist necessarily, because I want something that is progressive. I don't want to use the word democracy necessarily, because whilst I can't think of any better political system than democracy, I'm sure it's out there. The thing is, we haven't taken our time to think of what is African and what is democracy, and how we can join these kinds of effects to make a change, a real change, constitutional change, ethical change for our people.
All right. Thank you so much.
When I say I am not campaigning for Obi, but he's the best. Reason is he has said that he's going to cut down what collects the money of government. Cost of governance. Cost of governance. That is where they kill us in this country. And new trajectory and new direction. We'll talk about other things.
You are obviously you are a candidate. Obi is your candidate.
No. Obi is, by my critical, unbiased assessment. Right. I am not making this statement because I am a part of Obi. I'm making this statement because he, and more by comparison, is the only one who has shown that if given opportunity, he can take this country.
But there are a lot of arguments, Tisha, that Obi has less experience compared to Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu and the former Vice President Atiku Abubakar.
Is that the kind of experience you want?
I said this.
The experience that has made slavery out of Lagos, the experience that has made a man to produce governors for 20 years and is in control of the system of Lagos, the finances of Lagos. There is nothing that happens in Lagos without Tinubu's approval. Is that the kind of experience you are looking for? That is a malevolent experience. That is a diabolical experience. That is a retrogressive experience. That is a cancerous experience. That is a corrosive experience. That is a backward experience. That is a reducing experience. That is a poverty-oriented experience. That is a Stockholm Syndrome experience. It is an experience that must be smashed to the split bin and dumped in the compost stone. Our country needs egalitarian, progressive, brilliant, intelligent people with capacity, idealistic, to take us from the nadir of insignificance to the pinnacle of global recognition. That's what we're looking for. We don't need the experience of plutocrats and plutocrats who have put us in a quagmire and subjected us to this level of misery and slavery.
Okay. Praise.
Okay.
Can I ask Jagan a question? You see,
no, let us move.
Why not? Why not? I mean, really, what I'm saying is completely different from what everyone else is saying, and unless it needs to be understood, you're just. I'm not here just to talk. I'm here to be understood.
KJ. Sometimes we need to interrogate. There's no point coming here, people making speeches or talking without being interrogated,
Correct.
Because otherwise we're just wasting our time. Hold on, listen.
Much as I agree, we still have to forget what is being said. You want to turn the program now to what David?
No. Sorry, excuse me. So what's the point?
Now you are trying to take over the program and determine which way it should go. No, it doesn't happen.
No, it's not like that, KJ. We're all reasonable people now. We know how to speak.
To ask that one question, but we need to move. I care is here. Chris, yeah, all of them have not spoken now.
Okay, but okay, I can maybe
All
ask
right,
the question. He doesn't have to
okay,
answer.
okay.
Maybe someone else can even answer the question. Okay, I just ask the question. The person who is speaking next can maybe address the question.
Go for it.
So the question is this. Okay, Jagu talked about people's power, right? People hungry for a change. I agree. I'm all for that. But then, okay, does he discount this people power, this change, through the means of, I mean, through the ballot box? Is it something that is impossible, unimaginative?
No, not to me.
That
Not to me.
you cannot imagine.
If you listen,
you don't have to answer. Maybe someone else can.
No, I'm going to answer. If you listened well, you would appreciate where I'm coming from. I'm coming from a historical position of a failed country. A country has failed to enhance and galvanize its people to a direction that is good for them and doesn't cause jackpot the way we are running away from that nation.
But how would the change come about? That is the
Yeah,
question.
you're pushing.
That's the question. Hold on, Oti. The question for you, Jagun, and for Soli is what Oti is asking.
I can answer this question.
Okay, we all want a change. But then how can that change be done when there is no government in place? Who picks who? Who becomes what? And how is it distributed across board so that there will be some...
Listen. The first thing is to take back the power. And I'm suggesting to everybody that it is for the people to take the power back to themselves. For the elections for the next 3 years, because what we are going to do is organize and discuss a peaceful revolution whereby the nation is rebuilt upon certain bricks of ethics and understanding, so that we can come together and run a nation. Because our nation is not being run as a nation. We don't stand on the world stage in the way we should. We are so far away, even though we are educated people, we are skillful people, we are people with great skills. But we all the skills that we have are given to the outside world. They're not there to benefit our people inside that country. That is the position that we're in. And that is the position that we'll remain in if we continue with this rubbish. I mean, I can't see why we can't see that.
Okay,
it is not necessary. It is not necessarily about generational idiocy, even though that is there. It is about realizing that we need to take back this power, because the power has been looted and misused.
Thank you so much. Please.
Can I give you my own version of the answer?
Yes, sorry. Yes. I want to start this way. When I started, I said there are two models of building a nation. The first one is the American way, and the other one is European way. Now, when I start talking about, I moved on to the culture where the what's this guy's name? I said that he disagreed with me. Now, everybody must understand first what culture is. Culture is the way of life of a people. It includes your language. It includes your religion. It includes such practices like festives, New Year, festives, and the kind of things that you celebrate. These are culture. Now, but where it is important is that it's from this your culture that you can actually give yourself a constitution. Okay? It's from this your culture, because every man-made law derives from canon laws, and the canon laws are called cultural laws. Now, that's one side. The second one I want you to understand is the language. The importance of culture. When you educate your people in your own language, it is completely different from learning another language and trying to educate, because the other person, that person, when you start to educate your people with a different language, they will be thinking in a foreign environment. Now, what has happened to Africa is that the white man came, just like, it took us from our natural environment and put us into a different environment. And we have been struggling very hard to try to understand who we are and where we are going. Now, I'll just give you an example of fish. If you allow the fish in the river, you don't have to cater for it. But if you take it out and put it in the pond, now the growth of that fish depends on a number of issues. One, the feed. Two, the management, or how you manage it, and other things. Now, the reason why I emphasize this culture is this. If you look at Africa and look at Asia, Africa embraced the English, the culture of the white man. The Asians, after colonization, went back to their own culture and educated their people. If you come to Europe here today, for instance, every little country always teach their children mathematics, chemistry, physics in their language. Now, I have given an example before, when you want to teach somebody about soap making, okay? We want to teach somebody about soap making. Now, you'll be talking and telling their child about esters, using sodium carbohydrate or sodium hydroxide and other these things to mix up. But if you want to teach that person, say like in my own language, Igbo, you can tell the child and say, look, wetengo, not akamu, sorry, wetengo, gbaya na mmiri, gbaya mmiri, wepute zaa ya aza, ga-ezapụta mmiri ya, gị were mmanụ ishie n'ọkụ, ya n'ọkụ nnukwu gị gbaa ya ihe ezapụtara. Ihe ezapụtara, ịtọnụọ ya, ị na-agbarịkọ ya, ya ghọọ ncha. The child will feel the environment where you are teaching him. So what I have just described is how you make soup. It's like just taking what do you call ungo in English? It's some of these things.
It's not ash, but ash.
Yes, kind of ash of palm front or some palm.
Yeah,
palm fruit, right? Yeah, palm fruit. Palm fruit. Yeah. So if you burn it and you get the ash and then you put it in the water and then you get the residue of not the residue, the residue? No, not the residue, because you remove the residue and then take the water and then you put oil, and then after a certain temperature, when it is high, then you pour that the feed thread, okay, into that, and then turn it, and then you get soap. Now, this gives the child, what I've just described is the child start thinking about within his own environment. So the reason why I'm saying this is like, every time we talk about Africa not developing, is simply because we have embraced the white man's culture, their jurisprudence, their legal system, everything. And there's something you have to understand is this. If you impose some culture on people, that is called colonization, and that is why people tend to resist it.
Okay. All right. I think you have spoken.
I don't.
Okay. It's not strange. You see, some of these things have been tried. Professor Fakunwa, who was the Minister of Education, he introduced the statutory system, which means that the first 6 years was supposed to be your own language. But they hold on. Those who have other agenda came and canceled that thing as soon as the man left office. So it's not as if we don't know what is right. The question is the ability to be able to implement it honestly and sincerely. I talked about earlier on, which is one of the things that Dr. Chido talked about. Some group of Americans sat together and put together a book called the Federalist books.
Federalist, yeah.
Yeah. And these are people who sat sincerely, honestly. They're not too old. Somebody, I think, what's his name now, was 27 years old. They honestly sat and wrote a document, hundreds of years later, is being still used till today. They looked at their society and they tried to be fair to all. What is wrong with we trying to be fair to all in our own nation? That's the question we have not been able to answer. Why do we say if the thief man say I'm being killed in my community, why do we look for an excuse to give him to not agree what he's saying, that he's being killed and his land being taken over? Why do we find something good to say about what is going on and why the person will be lying? Something is obviously wrong somewhere. Why do we not want to even accept that the Plateau man have been suffering from these attacks? Plateau State, Jos especially. Jos being the headquarters of the missionaries in the north because of the weather. In fact, those days we used to go to Jos. When you want to go and take pictures and look as if you are in London, it's Jos you go to. Because most of our friends are white guys. We snap with them, we wear trench coats. Those of you in the north will know what I'm talking about. If you are living in Jos wearing trench coats, it's not a new thing. It is part of the culture there. But today, you can't even go, all those things have been destroyed. And the person has been complaining more than 20, 30 years now, and it's still going on. That is why I've lost hope. Our fathers fought these things. And that's why I don't agree with Soli. Our own time, hold on. Our own time has been taken over by those who...
Mr. KJ, I 100 see if something has been... Please,
okay,
can I
don't
want to forget this point. You said something has been going on. You said something has been going on. For, I'm trying to answer your question.
No, but I'm not even
something has been going on for... Sorry?
I've not even asked any question.
No, I'm trying to focus on that point that you said something has been happening for 20, 30 years and it made you lose hope and,
no,
all these things.
What made me lose hope is that those fault lines identified before independence, the people who fought for independence and got independence, I see the same people who are still in government today. They are still the ones running Nigeria. They refuse to give chance to anybody to take over. They are the same people. Those who went to organize the coup of 1966 and even 67 and the rest of the coups, they are still the ones running Nigeria. Those ones who went to read the Marshall the broadcast. There's no hospital, there's no good road, there's no drugs, there's no electricity. They are still the same people in government today, till tomorrow. So where is the change going to come from?
Can I ask you a question?
Yes, sir.
You are here, you are complaining about all these things, but have you ever come and organized with people, regardless of tribe and religion, and forced these people to take power back?
Oh, my brother, if to take power back in Nigeria, well, I don't know what you mean by that, but
no,
if it's to be part of the civil movement, I've been part of the civil movement for long. I told you guys on this program why I stopped becoming an activist. Because while we were doing that, as a journalist, we were in Area 1, I can't forget it, Area 1 roundabout in Abuja. And a friend of mine who was covering the State House called me and said, oh boy, I tell you something, you no go join this. Look at, they're giving the Ghana must go now. And they're going to make a statement to you people, go back. And I'm saying what is in history. Go and look for that broadcast made by that Yuba man. You people go back to your house. Tomorrow morning, we'll let you people know whether we should come out or not. We have shown enough this thing that we refuse the fuel hike today. And that was how the fuel hike ended. They collected their big gun goes
And
went.
nobody, no human being should forget his tribe or his ethnicity or religion, because these are the things that makes you human being.
Yes. So let us know how to work with it. And how do we work with it? Let us all come
These
together.
were the things that made the white people conquer you. And this is the thing that is making the white people continue to conquer you. And this is what will make white people continue to
what is the
conquer
thing,
you
sir?
forever.
What's the thing? No, tell us.
So,
what is the
look, all this
Can I say something? It is not you and Soleil that we have in this platform.
No, we're coming to you, Ike. Now
you are very predictable if you continue to you are a very predictable prey if you continue to go with your old ways. If you cannot adapt to something new, I will always take advantage of you. And every time I come to take advantage of you, it will always be easier than the last time because you refuse to change. But I will always change. I will always adapt.
Mr. Ike, what do you say? You have been listening so far, and you have been very quiet. Please help us greet Madam while you go ahead and answer our question. I hope we're not disturbing her too much.
To be honest.
Okay.
Doctor Bonaventure say that was Sunday one in me channel and yeah your macan has a small.
Yes, no problem. Go ahead.
So
it's allowed.
No, what really, what I wanted to ask my brother Jago was the same question that Bonaventure was trying to ask my brother Jago. In the present day Nigeria we have as a country, we say that APC is a gangster, ADC is a gangster, PDP is a gangster, SDP is a gangster. All the whole political parties, they are gangster political party. We don't want to conduct the election in the next 3 years. I should believe that my brother Jago should have something that he himself think that that's what we're going to do. But what he asks him, if you say we are not going to have election, there is no problem. Who runs the affairs of the country? How do we run the affairs of the country?
It's okay. It's a fair question.
Because
you want to answer it.
No, I'm coming.
You don't want to answer it, okay.
I'm coming. You can answer me, but I just hold it. I want to say something before you answer the question. You see, all this holier than Pope Nigerians are doing, I don't know where you have the angel in Nigeria that is going to come from above to run the affairs of Nigeria. How many years was Ojus Okali when he became governor of Abia State? How many years was Yaya Bello when he became the governor of Kogi State? How many years was Ifeanyi Okowa when he became the governor of Delta State? How many years was Nyesom Wike when he became the governor of Rivers State? How many years was Duke when he became the governor of Cross River State? These are young men. These are men of 29, 30 years when they became governors in Nigeria state. What did they achieve? What is the achievement? Because sometimes we say we need sense. I don't know where we are going to produce scent from Nigeria. I don't know who is going to become that saint.
You're going too far.
Even though you are an angel from heaven, that the system that they are going to operate on is already so polluted and poisoned to the point that with your angelic ideas of how you are going to run that country. You are going to mix the same thing other people has made. But the question should be, are you ready to be able to step on that toes? Because the people we are talking about here, my brother Jagu, we know them one by one. We can name them. They are not up to 100. That are holding that your country, that they are not even up to 50. Let's say they are 100. And we have about 250 million people population in Nigeria. So my point of argument to you is that when we say the generations, this generation has to die before Nigeria is going to get better. My brother, the prayer of every young man is to grow old. But every time my brother Sole comes here, his prayer is always that this generation should die before Nigeria will get better.
Yeah. Yes.
And you see, life is given those who believe in God. Life is given by God. And no man can decide the fate of another man when he's going to leave this earth. And I just want us to understand that each and every one of us have an assignment that we are sent into that country called Nigeria. Before that country was created and your generation become Nigeria, there is always an assignment each and every one of us has been assigned for being a Nigerian. The question you should be asking yourself at this time, what was my own assignment in the entity called Nigeria? Have I been able to fulfill my own assignment? Not to talk about, I'm not going to be talking about forefathers' assignment, because his own assignment in the entity of Nigeria is quite different from what I'm assigned in Nigeria. But I keep asking forefathers or Jagu, have you fulfilled your own course in Nigeria? Why I have not asked myself a question? What was the reason why that I is a Nigerian? What is my calling? Why has I become an entity of Nigeria? Why am I there? What is my mission? What is my call to see that Nigeria work? I think it is a personal question Nigerians should be asking themselves. So when we are talking about generation, the younger I just mentioned some of the people, all of you are clapping their hands in Nigeria. Even with the corruption of Yaya Bello, he is still moving like a king in Kogi State. How many years was he when he became governor of Kogi State? He was in his 28, 29 or 30s. I mentioned not less than 7 or 8 of them. Solomon Lam, when he was governor of Plateau State, how many years was he? Was it not people like these people we're talking, I'm mentioning now, is Abubakar Karimi of those days of Kano, Solomon La of Plateau State, Sam Bakwe of Imo State. Are they not the same Nigerians? Jakonde of Lagos State, Bisi Onobanjo of Ogun State, the man in Ondo State, I can't remember.
No,
I'm talking about the days of Philippe Modu. But before Philippe Modu, there was Omobori Owo, I think it is Aki Omobori Owo, right? These are these are young Nigerians who has a vision for the country. Emeka Zife. These are people that were young like most of Nigerians today. But what of those young Nigerians, what are they doing? What is their level of participation in Nigeria to make Nigeria better?
Can I respond?
There will be the people who the old guard will send into all internet around the world, trying to propagate and project their own image, instead of them who are supposed to take over. But they're the same people that this old guard are being used. At the end of the day, as we are talking now, Yenson Wike has prepared his 2 children one House of Representative and one State House of Assembly or local government chairman. Umahi, his son, is the local government chairman in his state. And we are here shouting. We are here talking about old generation, new generation.
Can I
you
respond?
know, the same people we are talking about, their children.
You can't respond.
You are repeating the same thing.
No, you can't respond.
When you were talking, I did not interrupt you. When I finish, I'm signing off. I just want to say my mind and I go. When you were speaking, I didn't talk. I was just listening. I'm not asking you a question. I'm just making my commentary. And after I finish, you have right. Only the person I asked question was Jago.
Please, when you finish, don't sign off. Please wait here. Wait, please, when you finish, don't sign off.
What am I trying to say is that
I
my
need to
brother
respond.
Jago, your idea is good, but the problem with your idea is that Nigeria is a country. Nigeria is not just like just like maybe a neighborhood, one neighborhood in London. It's a country of about 250 million people. If we say everybody in Nigeria is bad and corrupt, how do we hold? Somebody should be at the head of affairs of that country, not only at the head, not only in the federal, in the state, in the local government areas. People should be the people that are going to man those places for 3 years. Who are those people? Where are they going to come from in the midst of Nigeria? Who are they? I rest my case.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much.
All
yes.
right. Can I respond?
No, you're not going to respond. He was talking to you. No, you are taking too long to.
Please, now let me.
No. Let's move on.
He mentioned the topic.
Let us give other people an opportunity to. You have been commenting. I have spoken more than every other person. Please. Forefather, let's hear from you.
Can I respond and leave?
Thank you.
He only asked me a question, but it's up to KJ.
Yeah, so
he asked the question.
Yes, he asked a question, and I have said, okay, let the question hold. I want Forefather to speak. Let's not just jump into it. Let other people also be able to have their own turn. They are also here for the same purpose. All right, go ahead.
I'm going to lose my train of thought, and I'll probably not remember to even respond.
But he said he wasn't talking to you personally now, so it's not a big deal now. He was just expressing himself.
He mentioned generation. He mentioned my name like 5 times. He mentioned my name like 5 times.
Okay, Soli, respond. You have 1 minute.
I could have finished my response by now.
Go ahead now.
Okay. Now, you see, I'm not here to argue with you about generation or anything. I gave pure analysis. If you choose to be emotional about it, that is on you. When I spoke about generation, right, if you are not taking it emotional, you listen to what I'm saying clearly. I spoke about the generation of supporters. I didn't speak about the generation of politicians, right? Now, you brought out the generation of politicians, and you started mentioning names like Wike, Yaya Bello. All these people had red flags. There's no way all these people, you can mention that they are young. These people would have surely bought votes. These people would have used Agberus. These people would have used stocks. All the red flags that your generation sees that is not bad. Which is my point. The generation of supporters. The things and rubbish that you people accept, that you think is normal, that is our problem. You can bring out somebody that is 23 years old. This person will buy votes. This person is in APC. This person is showing all the red flags. But your argument is that the person is young, so you vote for the person. This is how you and your generation choose and decide leaders. Then you will not come and you want to argue with me that, oh, the person was young. The person was a young crook. I'm not here advocating for young crooks. I'm advocating that the older generation that is supposed to be wise are the ones voting in these crooks, regardless of whether they are old or young, because you guys accept rubbish. You guys accept nonsense. You guys accept the bare minimum. That is my point. And my point is that we should educate the younger ones not to accept all the rubbish that you guys have accepted. We have seen the results of all the nonsense you have accepted for the past few decades. We have seen the results. Who are the ones that voted them in? Is it my generation? Is it my generation that voted in Yaya Bello and Co?
No, sorry, now, so now you have your chance now. You have your turn now, as the younger generation. Okay, so there's no point blaming the older generation.
Argument instead of proper analysis. Should we bring out the facts? Should we bring out the age group of the voters? Since you don't understand that I'm arguing facts, not that I hate your generation. Let's bring out the facts. Let's look at the numbers. Let's look at the age group. Let's argue with facts, not emotions. You focus on the
old or young generation. We are all Nigerians. Okay, it's a task for all of us. There's no point. Listen, there's no point bringing more division. Okay, it's not helpful. We are all in the same boat. We are Nigerians. Okay, sorry, you're no longer.
It's not division. When you argue with white people, you argue with facts. But when you want to argue with black people and people that you think that are younger than them, you just start belittling our intelligence.
The fact is divisive. It's not helping. Okay, we have to face this task together.
It is not divisive. Is this a fact?
No, sorry.
There are no feelings in facts. There's no divisiveness in facts. Facts are facts. If the facts hurt you, then that is on you. Facts are facts. I didn't so
okay. KJ, he has spoken more than 1 minute. Let somebody else go ahead.
Okay, all right, thank you, Soli. All right, let's just move on. Mr. Forefathers.
Yeah, thank you, KJ, for having me. Thank you for hosting the show. And obviously, my voice is going to go up as I speak. I carry on speaking, so the pattern is always the same. Thank you. Greetings to the panelists, the chat, and to the viewers. Yeah, yesterday, I think, was it yesterday or earlier on, the earlier show, the guest said something I find interesting. He said that there are people that are actually Nigerians today. And that's the thing that a lot of people forget. When they start advocating that we break up the country and all the rest of it, there are people that are actually Nigerians today. And the fact that we're here is a testament to that. I remember being on a panel where there was a lot of Southwesterners that were actually very tribalistic, and they were insulting me, cursing me, saying all kinds of things about other parts of the country. Nasty things about other parts of the country. With that, we're just jibing each other on and on. But I just thought I should ask them this, but there is a reason why we are all here. But there's no other countrymen there. It's only us. And the silence, momentary silence that you get from that statement tells you everything you need to know. Like here, there is no other people that are here other than Nigerians. Maybe we are from Southwest and Southeast, South. I'm sure Masca was here earlier on. So the point is that we may not like it. We may feel like things are bad, but there is a Nigerian culture that is emerging. You don't often notice it until it crystallizes. Even with the Southeast as we know it today, when they didn't form a group. The Southeast was never. They were not like warlike people that form a kingdom and everybody conquer everybody. No. It was never like that. The only time the Southeast has ever come together and fought a common cause was the Civil War. That is the only event. So the idea that we are very how do I put it? Very different from each other. As a matter of fact, I've spent some time. I play different tribes and music in Nigeria that I'm going through. And the more I do this thing, the more I realize how linked we are actually. We like to say we are very, very different. We are not as different as we like to think. We are very, very linked. And some of the languages you see in the Middle Belt and everything, they sound very Yoruba. Some of them sound a little bit Igbo. This was a little bit. It's like that. That's how the mixture is so far I've been seeing in the country. And as you go, you get gradation of differences. So we are Nigerians. We may not like what is going on. The job is like you have a flat or a house. You don't like the way the house is. Your job is to fix it. You don't say, I don't have a house. I don't like the house. Then I run out of the house and go and find a small shed and live in there, saying that as if that's going to solve the problem. Especially when the whole neighborhood is already on fire. Every country around us, how many of them are doing that well? How many of them? They are not doing that well. And the country we like to say that Nigeria is that bad. But if you look at Nigeria, we are walking with one hand tied behind our back, and one of our leg has been chopped off, and we are still carrying on. And if you check the record of Nigeria as a nation to other nations, you'll be surprised how much good Nigeria has done. For a nation that we inside sometimes criticize so badly, we have done so much good for other nations. It's scary. I'm not even sure many of these great nations you see out there has been able to do what Nigeria has done selflessly. America will not go to your country and help you.
I don't get your drift. I don't know what.
Let me give you an example.
About now.
Let me give you an example.
No, sir.
America will not go to your country and help you without robbing you dry. Nigeria went to Sierra Leone, went to Liberia, went to Gambia. We are also helping Somalis.
Sorry. The charity begins at home. If we can't help ourselves.
I'm not saying. I'm not arguing that.
What are you talking about?
I'm not arguing that.
I don't know what's disturbing you.
I'm not arguing that part. But if you see, we like to worship Christ because he was selfless, isn't it? He wasn't exactly charity at home kind of person.
So worship who? Christ?
Christ now,
yes, because he's the example. He's our example.
Calm down now. Calm down. You can't start contradicting yourself.
Father, let me challenge you on this Nigerian issue. Okay?
But I'm not done now.
Let me challenge you on this Nigerian issue so that you can explain it to us. Who is a Nigerian?
Okay, go ahead if you want to.
A question. Okay. Who's a Nigerian?
Yeah. Let me ask you. Okay. The question is, who is a Nigerian? Does he have one language? Does he have one culture? Does he have one value system?
Religion?
Does he have does he have one ideology?
No. Like a man with you must be familiar with coat of many colors. That's what Nigeria is.
What makes a Nigeria?
That's it.
You
can have much.
You guys are just trying to argue rubbish.
You are familiar with the concept of coat of many colors, and
when I was listening to Oti, I couldn't head or tail. I couldn't get what he was saying.
I thought forefather is the one talking. Please let's to finish now.
So we are all those things that you described. You don't have to be one thing to be a nation. As a matter of fact, some of the best nations in the world are diverse and very, very distrustful of each other, and they build some of the best nations. So it's not a reason not to exist within an entity. If anything, I think Nigeria should, if we can conquer all the countries around us and make them part of us, we should make them part of us.
Wrong word, conquer. Wrong word.
Okay, fine. I'll take that one back. Yeah. We negotiate with them peacefully.
That's better.
We encourage you to join the union.
Can I ask you a question?
Father, hold on. Dr. Chido said Nigeria is the only country that has 3 major groups, major tribes around the world. Majority of the countries have 1 very large or 2 at most. But the one that have 3 makes it more difficult to have cohesion among the different ethnic groups. What do you say to that? And then if that be the case, don't you think that we all, like I've always said here, need to sit down and have a kind of truth where every individual tribe is represented, at that table and decide what they want, If not, we didn't sign in for what we have now. Let's go back to the constitution that we all signed up for and operate from that point. What do you say?
Yeah, the term tribe alone is first concession that we are backward people, because the rest of the world never use those terms anymore. Because
who says so?
It doesn't matter. Ethnic group. It doesn't matter. Really.
Ethnic group. Yeah, it doesn't matter. So you don't.
I'm just starting from the tribe word.
No. Okay. Ethnic groups.
I want to take on the point here.
I'm a tribesman. I'm not
And look at
I'm not ashamed of it. I'm not ashamed of it.
Uga, then just do Uga Buga, and then we finish the story from there. All right. So the yes, in terms of ethnicity, like I said, some of the best nations are quite diverse, and they have different cantons. Like if you look at Switzerland now, that they have six people in the presidential council, it's because they distrust each other. Why do you think they did that? They distrusted each other over 200 years ago, and they said, you know what, we are not going to have this. As much as we hate each other, but we are stuck in this area. As a matter of fact, the reason why people abandoned them there, because they were so complicated and confusing to rule. They were so distrustful that you can't, and they are in the same territory that is very unwieldy. And you wouldn't even, if you look at that nation from the start, you would think they have no business being together. They are stuck in between mountains. They can't even try. You can hardly travel from one point to another. And yet they made it work. What does that tell you? Say when a human being has the will to do the right thing, they will do it. Whether it's a sheer luck of history, they were able to say, you know what, we have to have a presidential council system. This is something I can't even believe they thought about it 200 years ago. Then they said, you know what, since we don't like each other so much, we are going to design the country in a way that will force us to work together. That's how you're supposed to do it. You have to be conscious about it. In a way, Nigeria tried to do that. That's why we have this national character behavior. We consciously understood our problem and was trying to fix it, but we never went the full hog. And I've heard that there was a Nigerian that proposed the presidential elder system, elder council in Nigeria. It's a form of presidential council system, but it's an elder council. And another country that has almost 50% Christian Muslim population, guess how they govern themselves? Similar system again. Because you have to have a system that deliberately is designed for the people to work together, their leaders to work together. And we have not done that consciously. We did try to do the national character and a few other things, but we have to do it at the very top so that everybody is represented at the same time. It's not that hard to govern. You have to have people that want to. What we're having is that our people, they don't want to do that. And you ask yourself, why don't you want to do that? Don't you see the storm coming out there? We don't want to. We are pulling back all the time.
I appreciate your.
You seem to contradict yourself a little bit here. You seem to contradict yourself a little bit. You said on one hand we're a nation, we're a country of a rainbow color country, right? And then you tend to now say that the leadership or the people don't want to be one anymore, don't want to be one. There is a tendency for each one of them not to be one. That is, none of them want to be, none of them, want to be in one nation, want to form a one nation. So you already said that it's a country of, as if to say that they all come together and say, we are going to form a nation. Then you came out and say, they don't, there is a tendency in each of these nations not to be one. Is that not contradictory?
No, that is not a contradiction. That is stating that is why we have problems.
Okay, so
but that is okay. That is the problem then.
Chris, hold on, please. Chris, hold on.
Mentality needs to change. People like you need to stop doing it because it's not going to help you. That's my point.
Hold on, Chris.
It is not my mentality. It's just that is the fact.
You are fighting against the tide, the direction you want to travel. Solly told you here. You want to make the mistakes of the past. You are doubling down on errors.
Forefathers, hold on, forefathers. So who is to be blamed now? Because from what you are saying, these systems are supposed to be working, but the system that's supposed to have make it work has been bastardized, and the people have refused to let it function. The people have even refused to have an honest discussion on the true federalism of Nigeria. So who is to be blamed on this issue right now? I'll give an example for which Dr. Chido gave. He said a state like Lagos State has almost 25 million people, and they only have less than, how many local government? 27 local governments.
And a state like Kano has 44 local government. The cut off, Jigawa was cut off from Kano and has 27 local government. Together, they have 64 local government. And they have less than 20 million people living in Kano. And then when the federal allocation comes, Kano and Jigawa get more than Lagos State gets. That has over 25 million people. You see, this why I'm giving this example, and I know very well before you said it, that this is one of the contradictions that used to really annoy me, because Lagos State is among the the biggest nations on earth, like where you have the largest number of people converging at one time. It's there in the world history, but Kano is not even among the 10 or the 20 ones. 20 is not among them. So even if the government decide to tell themselves the lies in Nigeria, the world is not following that nonsense we are putting. So is there any reason why Lagos will get less money than Kano? These are the contradictions we are trying to address.
There might be reasons for that. Like
you see, so you see now, you have just
let me explain. Let me explain, because sometimes nations are designed on a need basis. If one side needs it more, the other side.
Money is shared in Nigeria according to local governments. Money is shared in Nigeria according to local government.
What should it? So this okay. I'm not trying to argue that is the ideal way, because personally I don't necessarily know the matter very well. But I will agree with you on one point, that if you are part of a nation and you are being treated unjustly, that is a problem for that nation. Because I've seen that when you treat people unfairly within a nation, it leads to serious problem for that nation. That nation, anybody that is a nationalist in that nation that cares for that nation, should look to fix that injustice, because it's a danger. You see it all over the world. And I always give the case of the Kurds in Iraq. The Kurds in Iraq is different from the one in Iran, because the one in Iran is not as oppressed as the one in Iraq. The one in Iraq helped topple Saddam Hussein, but the one in Iran, no, they don't want to. They are not interested. If anything, they are like, the Trump went and gave them guns. They took the guns and disappeared. That is the difference. You have to treat your people right. It's a good example.
You notice something, okay? Now, Iran is a country, right? Now, you mentioned Kurds. So why are they? What is important? What is significant about them? In other words, they are a national group. Hold on. So it's like a nation within a nation. So they have this recognized identity, right? Okay. So in other words, this idea that all peoples, all tribes, you don't like the word tribe, or ethnic groups can just be subsumed under Nigeria, and then their identity disappear. All right, they shouldn't talk about it. They shouldn't. It doesn't matter. We're just Nigeria. Can you see the contradiction in that? You see, because now you're talking about Iran, and then you are singling out Kurds. You are giving them identity. You are recognizing them. You are saying that they are different. That they should be respected. They should count. Are you with me? So why shouldn't that apply to Nigeria? And even to broaden it out, why shouldn't Nigerians sit down together and then really discuss how the different groups, right, can live together? So why this pretense? Why this kind of like fakery? This kind of it's dishonesty, because that's what it is. We're not really facing up to the reality. We're pretending.
Let me address the issue of your tribe.
So you mentioned Kurds in Iran and Kurds in Iraq. So why? What is important about them? Why do you mention them?
What is important is because in Iraq, they were persecuted heavily, and Saddam Hussein used chemical weapons against them.
No, why are they persecuted?
Because Saddam Hussein felt like they were being disloyal to the country. They were fighting for separatists. They were doing separatist movement. And during that time, Saddam Hussein was at war with Iran. So he was very paranoid, and he reacted aggressively against them and used chemical weapons on them. And during that time, America was an ally of Iraq when all this stuff happened. So, but when the Desert Storm came and the Iraq war came, the Kurds worked with the same Americans that were supporting Saddam Hussein to destroy the country. So, but in Iran it's different because Iran did not treat its Kurds like that. You see what I mean? This is why I said, if people carry your passport, you have to try to treat them with a sense of justice. Some of them may not like the government. Some of them may even try to betray the government, but it's not going to be that deep. Just like you see the Iranians now. Some of them are turning on Trump. The ones that wanted Trump to go into Iran, they are turning on him because they're like, we don't like our government, but we don't hate our country that bad. We don't want you to come and destroy our country. So
would you admit that even when they are treated fairly, people, any nation in any country, in any kind of geographical space are quite entitled to, if like, self-identity, self-identification, self-determination.
I've not addressed the point about identity.
No, because you are going too far. I will be
very brief about it. I'll be very brief about it because I think I've repeatedly gone back to this issue. You are a father and you are an Igbo man. Your being a father does not erase your Igbo identity. Your being a lover of maybe Arsenal does not erase your Igbo identity. Neither does your being a Nigerian erase your Igbo identity. If anything, it enhances it and make it stronger. So if you want to protect your Igbo identity, just like the Swedes, the different groups in the Swiss nation, they remain their distinct groups, but they are stronger together.
No, sorry. And what if when that my Igbo identity becomes a problem, becomes a
root for
a risk factor? What happens?
That is where injustice comes in, because your Igbo identity shouldn't be a problem.
Okay, so what happens then? What do we do if that becomes the case?
Then you work with other members of the family that believes in what you believe in.
No. How do you work with them? Excuse me. You see, let's be concrete. Okay, it doesn't have to be Igbo. It could be another identity. Ijaw, for example, if Ijaw identity becomes a risk factor, okay, what would you expect Ijaws to do? And then others are not kind of paying attention to them, ignore them, and then even persecute them. All right. So what should they do?
Like I said, that's injustice. If you persecute people because of their identity, that is injustice. And
what should they do? If it carries on, what should they do?
No, the people that are persecuted should complain about it and should make a fuss about it. That's the whole point. You have a vote.
We need to move.
And do it peacefully. When you do it peacefully, what is going to happen is that other people will join you. Nigerians don't like injustice.
No,
No, forefather. Let's look at it from.
Calm down, everybody. Calm down. I disagree with you on that. Everybody.
Nigerians like injustice if it's their favorite person doing it.
Calm down, Soli, calm down. All of us, Nigerians, we like injustice. So don't say they don't. If we don't like injustice,
we like that the Benue people are being slaughtered.
Listen.
Exactly the point I'm making.
Okay,
I don't think any Nigerian will say
now, gentlemen. We start this program. So we'll stop at 3 hours after. 3 hours have gone by. So I will allow you all to round up by giving us your best arguments on this issue. But why so far for that? Before you start, because I'm going to start from you. There was a report last week that came out of London, where you are. You have not talked about it, so I'm holding you responsible. A Yoruba guy whose name we all know. I don't want to call his name again.
Call his name so we know who you're talking about. What's the point?
He was charged. He was charged for murder 8 years ago. He was hurriedly deported to Nigeria or pushed back to Nigeria, and now the British Interpol have requested for him to come. Now, the Nigerian police decided to do a quick one. They changed his name from what it used to be to add Igbo middle name to it. Now, what in line of what I'm saying, his name is Matthew Adebiyi, but now it has become Matthew Suku somebody. Chukwuemeka Adebiyi. Now, why am I saying this? when your ethnicity becomes a problem in a nation and the government seems to be one backing it up, okay, do you think that the people there, and as you answer this, also round up so that we don't have to come back to you, do you think that the people of that state, for again another example, if the people of Benue have been complaining, for which I know that their people are being murdered and their lands are being taken, they've lost 400 villages in Benue alone. Okay, that yam place, the place all of us used to go and buy yam in Benue, nobody is farming again because Fulani are taking over that place. So, are you going to say that these people do not have a genuine concern that should be discussed and consequently the issue treated? How do you now continue in that federation where this is happening to you and over time nobody doing anything about it? As you answer, round up also, so we don't have to come back to you. Thank you.
Thank you. I think every injustice should be addressed within a nation. And sometimes it takes a while for the injustice to be addressed. It's not instantaneous. And a country like Nigeria, where you have a lot of people that hack back to ethnic rivalries and religious dogma, which I believe is actually being injected into our discourse. Because if you look at on the ground physically, most of us are interacting with each other all the time. But people are misinformed. You don't know how many people that believe in their head that Nigeria is actually recruiting terrorists into the military. Some people will swear by it, but even if that is not true, they will swear by it because it's been injected into the system. There's so many misinformation that is injected into the system that is not accurate. So I agree with you that if people are being persecuted, their issues should be dealt with, especially if it's objectively clear they are being persecuted. And that's why I said if people are being mistreated within that country, for me, the way I look at it is it's a security issue. You have to address it. You have to treat those people properly, because tomorrow those people are the ones that will be welcoming foreigners to come and destroy your country. That is not a good thing.
I'm trying to ask you a question. But is the security issue have to do with the Matthew Adeni whose name was changed to Igbo name? Does it have to? That security issue?
See, the circumstances of that name changing, I don't necessarily know it. But if, let's say, in your own the context that you are discussing this, that somebody put that name there specifically to kind of malign the Igbo, this tribe, then like Abike Dabiri, I'm not here supporting that kind of people. Those people, they should be born in hell. Because what are you trying to do? You are trying to create a situation that I'm against. You can't keep
that name that has been injected. Is it a total faux pas, or is that actually his name? I you know what you said doesn't tell us much. So tell me, KJ, is it actually his name, or is it actually not his name?
Okay, before. So why suddenly, this kind of...
No, forget that. Forget suddenly. Is it his name or is it not his name? This is all.
Mr. Jagun. Mr. Jagun.
Yeah.
About this. Now,
pardon?
Here is the issue. The guy was living in London.
No, I understand the issue.
Hold on.
Oh, dear. Is it his name or is it not his name?
Now, what for you?
God's sake.
It is not his name. It was infused when he came to Nigeria. They put it there.
Okay, so it is not his name. So it is malicious, therefore.
Yeah, they should burn in hell. That's how
it's not about burning in hell, but it's highlighting.
No, see, I think for me, I'm very against people
forget about burning in hell.
All right, let's move on. Thank you. Go for a round up so I can move.
So I'm not in the mood to be kind of politically correct with people that are doing this sort of thing, because what they do costs lives. People take these things for granted a lot, because when you are doing that kind of stuff, you are affecting the national cohesion. And when you affect national cohesion, that country's collective intelligence is reduced. And when a national collective intelligence is reduced, people die. That's why Nigeria is suffering today. I don't feel sorry for people like that. And leaders and people that can see that don't tolerate people like that. I'm not in any mood for that, because Nigerians have suffered enough. A lot of needlessness has occurred in that country. I know family members, people that have come on this planet and say, I talked about needless loss of life because all these divisions are there. That's why we're not addressing our problems effectively like other nations do. So
All right,
I'm not in this in kind of sync with that kind of behavior where we just say, let's forgive them, and I'm not in that mood. I'm not in the mood of forgiving Abigail.
Thank you. I appreciate
So,
your
but
comment.
let me go. Yeah, Jesus, what is this now? How
Come
many
on,
minutes
now you have spoken more than 5 minutes. Let us
ask me a question, but I'm asking your question to finish. I'm not even raising my own point.
Part of your rounding up now. Hey, bros, come on.
But so by rounding up is asking your question. Okay, if that's
Yes,
that's
now.
fine.
Thank you so much.
All right.
All right. Thank you. Ike, we're coming to you. And somebody asked a very pertinent question or whatever. The guy who asked, he's not Igbo, he's Yoruba. And when they deported, or rather, when whoever arranged for him to come back to Nigeria, he went straight to Lagos. It was when Interpol requested for him that all this manipulation started. And when they got the document, they said, no, this name was not originally here. This is the original name we have. And we also have his documents. So he cannot be having Chukwuemeka right now included in his name. Okay? Yeah, the name included was, Chukwuemeka. Okay? And that's what he said. No. So it's not even we who are dictating that this is false. It is the people abroad. That's why they don't trust any document coming from us. Because even the system is trying to help you to forge. So I don't even blame them because our president is a forger. So anybody can forge anything. Go ahead, Ike.
Well, it should not surprise you because, like as you said, your president is a forged man. We don't know who he is. We don't know where he comes from. We don't know his age. We don't know his family. We don't know the school he went to. The school he said he went to, the school was not even established when he said he went to the school. So, and his daughter is older than him. So it's a story for another day, right? And your so-called National Assembly has also given the green light that anybody can forge anything, and it's not a crime. So, I mean, we are countries of forgers, So don't be insulted when you are crossing international border with the green passport. You are being insulted and harassed like a common criminal. It is the action of people in power that are produced that you as a Nigerian, every international point you enter as a green passport, they will ask you to wait this side, because of your green passport. So you shouldn't cry much about it because when the people that your leaders are doing it, it didn't say anything. It's okay that your president is a man, is a mystery, is a spirit. We don't know who he is, and we are comfortable, we are happy that almost the most powerful president in the world, or but maybe the second most powerful president in the world. We don't know anything about him. All we know is that he's a Miloko, and the people that are backing him, they have decided to make forgery as a leeway for you to forge anything you want. So, but you see, is one of those things. We can always try to pretend that it doesn't matter. You can ask yourself a question. Somebody who can imagine to change the name of somebody with the name of another person coming from an authority, that's to tell you where we are coming from and where we are going, because I just believe that the evil men they will reap whatever they sow, and those people who feel that Nigeria is good or everything is working well in Nigeria, my prayer is that this APC government will continue to rule you, your children, your grandchildren, your generation, that find that Nigeria is good today and everything is working. And people, like AJ said here, Nigerians will speak political grammar in the face of reality about the killings that is going on in Plateau State, the killings that are going on in Benue State, the killings that are going on in Nasarawa State, the killings that are going on in Borno State, in every part of Nigeria. But some people will speak political grammar and tell you you're exaggerating. How can you be sure? How true is it? And when we say that Boko Haram and terrorist people are being reintegrated in the Nigerian army, Nigerians will begin to argue, how can you prove it? This is the problem with your country called Nigeria, because we will see why.
We shouldn't say that. That is false. You can't. At
We
least
will
there's
see
no
white.
evidence to it.
We will
Don't
see
say
white,
that. It's
and
not.
we
It's
will call
not true.
it black. So, what am I trying to say? What am I trying to say? What am I trying to say? Nigeria, as long as we are still breathing, Nigeria is going to happen to everybody. And it's happening to everybody. Those who believe in it, those who doesn't believe in it, it's happening to everybody. And it will continue to happen to everybody until when we will stand up and say, no, but let us tell ourselves the truth. I think this is the way that we're supposed to go. And I think by then...
See what you're saying? Until we stand up and say, and you're telling me that you don't understand what I'm saying about Nigeria needs to take the power back.
No, my brother, wait. No.
In conclusion.
No. Brother Jagu, this your issue was, we were talking about your own. We are talking about political and leadership. Nobody saying what you're saying is not the right thing. But the question was that if we agree with what you said, who is going to lead that country from federal to state? It's people.
I can answer it, but you know, KJ didn't allow that because he wasn't interested.
Okay, I end like this. I just want to say that, like as I said, we are praying for Nigeria to be good for everybody, so that our children and our grandchildren will always feel safe and happy to go back to Nigeria to enjoy the beautiful things that God has given to Nigeria, the blessings, the good things that God has blessed the country with. Is always our prayers, you know. And I pray that each and every one of us will continue to live to see that Nigeria becomes better. I wish everybody the best of the new week. Enjoy the new week.
Okay.
One love.
One love. Yes. Brother Chris. Fire,
Okay.
please.
Okay. Well, what I'm trying to let everybody know are facts. At the inception of the country called Nigeria, 3 people sat and discussed how to build a nation out of this, out of the many nations that are coming from, that were amalgamated by the Britain. They agreed that they are going to stay on their own, have their own culture, and understood and respect this culture. Now, fast forward today, what we have had is a situation where one culture is trying to supersede other cultures. Thank you. You know, this English is not my language, you know. So it's
I'm
not
sure
my
if you were
fault.
speaking Igbo, we still wouldn't understand.
Oh, well, when I speak Igbo, if you want me to speak Igbo, I will now. So if you want me to do that. Okay, so now that since they didn't agree, and if you ask every average Yoruba man today, for instance, he will say Awolowo is his idol. And if you ask every average Fulani, even Hausaman, he might say that, or now the Hausas are no longer agreeing that Ramadi Bello is their idol. In the East, well, we disagree with Azikiwe. in the first instance. So this has been the problem, and that has continued to rock the country. Now, I wouldn't mind if this country want to be a nation. That will be good. But they have to go through a process of subjecting themselves to that particular will of becoming a nation through the normal referendum, which can be done through conducting a referendum for every ethnic nationality to ascertain their willingness to form a country or to form a nation. This, to me, is the only way and the best way to resolve the issue, because once they subject themselves to the authority of Nigeria, then they will be able to negotiate on what terms that they are subjecting their sovereignty to this authority. If we continue to, ignore it and hoping that this, cross-pollination that has taken place, which in my book is called contamination of product, will suffice as a Nigerian, then we are making big mistake, because at each point where you go, they will remind you that there is no Nigerian, either through your educational or through your career or through your infrastructure or whatever, or even through voting. They will remind you that you are not a Nigerian. There's no Nigerian. And then people keep on telling me there is Nigerian forming.
It's
I
funny
doubt.
how you look for everything to say that there's no Nigeria. We are Nigerians here. Are we from the same tribe?
Well, he's speaking metaphorically. It's not.
Yeah, but you can find in every nation, you can look for every area where they don't have. You can say who is the best footballer in Nigeria. You will see that many people will say Yekini. Many people, they will not go to their tribe then. But you always find the areas where people differ and amplify it and say that's the reason why we are not Nigerians. But yet we are from different tribes on here. This is an example that we are Nigerians.
Oh, Father, I'm sorry.
See.
What you are doing is actually not very good. I don't want to stop you.
They did it to me. Why are you saying this now? This is justice.
Allow him to. And you see now, the same thing you are doing now. Just the same question I answering now. You say,
to me now. Answer this question.
Look, you are still this thing now. It doesn't help now. All right, Chris, conclude, please. You have been taking too long.
Okay, so to that point he's making, that every tribe is a Nigerian. Now, you see, when you are talking about tribe or ethnic nationality, they have cultures. There's no Nigerian culture. Or you will say that, for instance, you have Sharia in the north, which is incompatible with the TV culture. And for the reason they are being killed. Should we allow that to happen? And you are talking about justice. Remember, you are talking about justice. So, in other words, if these cultures are incompatible, there are only two ways to resolve incompatibility. One is that, only one way to resolve incompatibility, that is through separation. But if there diversity, you can resolve the issue when they are compatible through hybridization. In which case, which is not what Nigerians want, and there's no hybridization. Hybridization is a program. It's a program. It is not random. Okay, but what we have in Nigeria are random. People living where and there or marrying this and that. It's a program. If you look at America, America is a program. The people, everybody that comes in will subject himself, forget about his, whether he comes as an Igbo man He will plug into their system and live there. But in the case of Nigeria, Hausa man will live in Sokoto and go to Lagos and live as a Hausa person. You have Hausa community in Lagos. You have Hausa community in Igbo land. You have Hausa community in Kano. So this shows you that they do not want to.
West, we have Chinatown, we have Indian areas. The areas, if you go to Peckham, where Nigerians exist, we have all that. I don't understand why you always look at this
Leave
like
him. Leave him. No, forefather. The thing is, there are those who love negativity, and then they breed themselves into negativity, and they want everyone to just leave him, let him finish, and then let's go to Oti. Let him finish, and then after me,
Okay,
Joe.
but hold on, Chris. But what Chris is saying, people are not following what
We
he's
heard what Chris is saying.
Hold on.
That's not inaccurate.
Hold on.
Can I finish? Can I finish?
Chris, hold
and
on.
I will just go.
Hold on.
Oh,
now,
dear.
In Nigeria, Nigerians are forming Hausa community in other parts of Nigeria. That's what he's saying. It's not saying
in America.
Hold on. He's not saying in America. If Igbos come to America and form Igbo community, which is not even there, it's a different thing. If Hausas go to America and form Hausa community, it's a different thing. If Hausas go to London and form London Hausa community, it's a different thing. In your own country, you go to a different part of it and you are forming your own community, which means that you don't want to mix with other people. You want to be by yourself, with yourself, amongst yourself. And you don't see anything wrong with it. Wow.
Actually,
go ahead
they are mixing with other people. They are mixing with other people, and other nations do it too.
So let me finish with this. You see, the wrong narrative.
That the Igbo people in the north do not have their own.
What I'm trying to explain to you is this: if there are Nigerians, okay, if there are Nigerians, then Nigeria should be Nigeria anywhere he finds himself. But if he finds himself in the Hausa land and he's still an Igbo, and he finds himself in Yoruba land, he's still an Igbo, then it means that he is not a Nigerian. Pure and simple. I don't know. I don't understand
Chris,
so let me leave it here.
But
let me leave it
here. It can be Nigerian and Igbo. So it's not really. It's not a contradiction. So
thank you so much.
No. There's a contradiction there. There's a contradiction. Let me tell you why it's a contradiction.
I don't
Let me tell you why it's a contradiction. Let me tell you why it's a contradiction.
No. See, the Igbo-ness is an ethnic identity.
Hold on. No contradiction.
Sorry. Let me say this.
No. Jagun, go ahead. Mr. Jagun, can you go ahead, please?
Jagun is frozen at the
time. Bonaventure, go ahead while we wait for.
I don't mind giving my time to Chris, really, because I'm.
Chris, he has given you his time.
I don't
sorry. What I'm trying to say, the contradiction is this, okay? Let's say he is an Igbo or he is a Hausa, okay? And he's in Yoruba land. Now, and an application for a job comes for a Nigerian, but he is treated, whether it is Igbo or Hausa or Yoruba, then that shows that he's not a Nigerian. On the other hand, in the same thing, when it comes to
that's a different
when it comes to education,
discrimination now. Excuse me. You see, you have to be able to.
No. The discrimination drives from its own ethnicity, and therefore, if it drives from his ethnicity or her ethnicity, therefore, the other one that you think that he is no longer possible. You can either be one thing or another. People can say you can say you can be Nigerian and then an Igbo. But if the job or the education, for instance, both of you studied in the same class, okay, Because I have seen this. You studied in the same class. Then you are as an Igbo or as a Yoruba or from another class, you are asked to get a higher mark than the person who they thought is an indigene in that place. Then it means that this Nigeria thing is right.
But I'm telling you that it's a problem, but it's a different problem. You're describing a different problem from the issue, for example, from
Mr.
Sorry.
You say you give away your time. What's happening now?
No, I gave him my time.
Because,
At least you can allow me to.
He has used up all your time.
No.
All right.
What I'm saying is, Chris, he's describing a problem, but it's not the kind of problem that forefathers is, because it's not the problem of, like national identity as such, okay?
No,
but
people are not understanding what he's saying.
Which can
I think I've simplified what he's trying to say, and the best way I can. I am an Igbo person. I'm from Abia State. If I'm living in Anambra State and I decide to say, oh, these Anambra people, let me go and look for only where there are Abia people, and they will converge or converge in one particular location only for Abia people. That's only where Abia people we tread amongst ourselves, we'll live amongst ourselves. We'll not even try to, whenever you see us doing any business outside of that circle, it means that we're dealing with, non-indigens or non-people of our tribe. We deal with them. So that's what he's trying to say. In our own nation, your own nation, not that is another nation. It's like when you are living in England, do you have English people living in one? Okay, the Scottish people living only by themselves, forming their own group and calling themselves, we are Scottish. In London, it doesn't happen.
They do have Scottish groups in London, but they don't have. The Scottish are not that widespread.
So there is nothing wrong, whether it's a good example I'm giving or not. There's nothing wrong if you come to Nigeria and see a Chinese community, a Chinese village. There's nothing wrong if you come to Nigeria and see an American community.
No, there's nothing wrong with that.
But if you come, hold on. But if you come to America and you now find an American community in America, are you kidding me?
We have Italian communities now. We have this in German.
Exactly what we're saying now. You can have Italian community in Nigeria. You can have Ghanaian community in Nigeria. You can have Venezuela community in Nigeria.
No, Italian community in America, they are American.
But this is not
I'm talking about the one that are American.
No,
this was describing.
No, that's what I'm describing. That's what I'm trying to describe. Because what it is that it is that community that makes him, that it's because of that his identity, because of his identity is the reason why he has to belong to that community, and the reason why he will be discriminated in anything that is given to the people of the state.
Okay, thank you so much. Last one, okay. Jago, thank you for coming back. Can you please, give us your take before we call it?
Can I speak last, if you don't mind? Please allow Oki.
Sorry.
Good night.
Your audio has a problem.
Your audio has a problem.
Please allow him.
No, he has used his time.
He has finished his time now.
Oh, I see. I missed that. Okay. Gentlemen, I think what I had to say was quite different than everybody have said, and that it was difficult for people to understand or to have any interest or realism in engaging my argument. The country, as I have said and as I maintain, is completely bastardized. We cannot repair something that is bastardized and is now. There is no there for it. The only thing to do for us as Nigerians is to start again and confirm that we are those people that call themselves Nigerians, Igbo, Yoruba, Hausa, and all in between. It is important for us to rectify the position that we have found ourselves in by breaking it down and building it up from the beginning. The arguments that we have every week lets us know that we are in an unworkable position. I fear that most of our rhetoric of disposition, our rhetoric of negativity, our rhetoric of tribalism, our rhetoric of being seconded in our nation is to be set anew. We can't continue like this. If we continue like this, we can only expect negativity. Unless those of us who are aware that we have to begin from the beginning, then we have no hope. I want to speak about the way this discussion was conducted. KJ, I have a lot of belief and faith and respect for who you are, but I believe in this particular section of our communication, you didn't handle it very well, if I may say so. It is not agreement based on disagreement that we are looking for. I understand that I don't always agree with you, but that is not a reason for you to try and, I don't know, shut me up by turning off my mic, things like this, because I haven't spoken that much and I haven't been disturbing. However, I do have a lot of opposition to the way you have conducted yourself in this program and the way you are extremely one-sided in your thinking. There is no way you can agree with what Chris said as to somebody who moves from his state to another state of another ethnicity cannot express themselves as they are. That does not mean that they are there to take over. That does not mean that. Communities are founded everywhere in the world. There are communities in India that are African, that they have been there for centuries upon centuries. They are still very distinct from the Indian communities that are around them, and they exist. This does not mean, I prefer that you ask your question openly, because I'm not going to stop what I'm saying to read what you have written. So that is another nonsense that has been provided for us. I'm trying to put it to us that the way we discuss things on this platform, a lot of the time is very wrong. It's not forward thinking. Well, I'm a Nigerian. I'm a Nigerian all over the world. The culture of Nigeria is known, not just in other parts of Africa, but other parts of the world. We are known as Nigerians. There are things that are typical of us being Nigerian. Some would say that Nigeria is full of criminals. Others would say that Nigeria has very intelligent people. More would say that Nigerians are very hardworking. These are aspects of who we are as Nigerians. It is only us that refuse to join hands and make a country great, a nation real, and for us to take our position on the world stage, not just for us, but for the African community worldwide, and indeed for humanity in itself. I believe the way we do things is very negative, very tribalistic, and ignorant. And that ignorance isn't taking us anywhere. And me, for one, I hate to hear the level of ignorance that is contained in our present day system of being a Nigerian. I'll round it up there.
Thank you so much, Jagun. And I appreciate the fact that you have addressed these things. And I just have one question for you. You talked about the Indians, the Africans found in India that still having the African community in India. Do you have Indian communities in India? Sorry, it's frozen again. So
you
my
have Jewish communities in America. What sense are you going to make of that?
You-
they move from one point to another. They still have Jewish
you
community.
are still making the same mistake.
No, I'm saying Jewish community that are from America. They move from one part of America to another. What do you make of that?
The Jewish community in America, they are what? First of all, Jews. They are Jews. That's why they call them Jewish Americans.
No, the Americans.
Hold on. No.
They've been in America for hundreds of years.
No, they still call themselves Jewish Americans. They still call themselves
Americans first. But the Americans first.
No, they are not Americans first.
What?
They don't call them. Okay, you may decide to call them American Jews, but they call themselves Jewish Americans.
So Steven Spielberg is not an American.
I'm not going to get into that. All I'm simply telling you is that you can't come to America and you see a Native American saying he's also forming another community inside America. That's what I'm trying to say.
No, they are not forming another community. They just even Italians they do the same thing.
The argument that Chris has put out to you, that even in our own country, certain individuals, certain tribes still come to your community and they coalesce themselves and form themselves into a group different from your own community. They don't want to identify with you.
In America, that they are doing, Italians do the same thing. Even Indians that are from India in America, they do their. That's why they buy properties in the neighborhood. That's why they do business in the neighborhood. Italians, they run clubs, nightclubs, and everything.
By the way, America is quite different. Okay.
I don't understand.
America is different. You can't use America to compare. Hold on. Excuse me.
How about Switzerland?
Excuse me. You can't compare America to any other country. Okay. When it comes to this ethnic, configurations, it's quite a different. It's a migrant nation, unlike Germany, unlike So, I mean, it's you have to listen to what
can be said for Switzerland too, where they speak different languages.
No, that's not the point. It's not migrant. It's not like America was founded by migration. Okay, it's not. You can't compare America to another country.
I'm also talking about Switzerland. That is also
no. Excuse me.
Or Canada. That they speak different languages.
There's something distinct about America when it comes to that. Really. So if you're talking about Jewish America, Irish America, German Americans, I mean, there's a sense to that which you cannot compare to another country.
Empire. But let's close the discussion. Yeah, if we go to Ghana and we find Ghanaians in Ghana community, Ghanaians in Ghana community, then we begin to have something. But since we can't find Ghanaians forming a Ghana community inside Accra or inside a community in Ghana, then it becomes strange because you are simply saying
the point is that
community.
There are some sections.
I don't know why we
Hold on, excuse me.
I use a Jewish example, and you say you pretend as if
no,
you don't
excuse
know.
me, excuse me, Fofadas. Calm down. The point is, let me put this to you this way: that some sections of maybe our Nigeria, our country, refuse to integrate, right? That is a problem, and I think somebody is quite right.
It's the same in the UK too. We have Jewish community in Stamford Hill. They are in the Golders Green. They are in different parts of the country. I don't know why we keep pretending as this is not.
We need to leave it there as it
they
is.
exist like that.
Okay,
KJ, do you mind that I answer your question? My battery is playing up, I'm afraid.
No, I didn't ask any question. Don't worry.
You did ask. You asked me whether or not there are Indian communities in India, and my answer is yes, there are.
Okay.
There are Gujarats, there are Hindu, there are so many Tamil, Tamil. There are so many. India is a country just like Nigeria in terms of its ethnicities, its various ethnicities.
They refuse to integrate with other Indians.
No, they do not.
I see. All right, let's leave it there. Let's leave it there. Thank you so much, everybody, and I really appreciate all your contributions. Jabu, thank you so much for going off and coming in, even though your device was giving you trouble. It didn't stay away. Thank you for that information also. Thank you, Benaventure Oti. Thank you also. All of you bring very rich.
So is it Bonaventure, not Benaventure? Bonaventure.
Bonaventure.
Yes.
Are you not the same namesake of David Mark?
Yes, that's the name. Bonaventure. Bonaventure was a bishop, a doctor of the church.
Yes.
Yes. So
even though you ran away from
the Bonaventure University in America.
The name of the bishop.
There's a Bonaventure University in America. Bonaventure, he was a bishop and a daughter of the church. It was Italian, Bonaventura. So that's
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Oti. At least Oti.
But if I may add, I differ from the comment Jagu made about your moderation. I do understand that you have your biases, and I factor that in, that you let some of the other people speak longer. But I do like the way you try to conduct yourself in terms of temperance compared to me. I'm very, very fiery. So, and I'm able to come to your platform, even if sometimes it take me 2 hours to talk. But still, when I talk, you give me a chance to talk and you ask the right questions. And so, from that point of view, I do admire the way you moderate on that front.
Thank you so much, Forefather. I thank Jagu also for the observation. I will try and do better. I see this one with the lens small. Well, nobody knows it all. I will say that, Forefather, thank you also for coming, because you can as well decide to stay away, but you are here to share your time with us. And again, your life, each of you sitting with us today, this life you have spent here will not be regained. So I will not take it for granted. Even if you came to insult me, it is also your time that you have spent. And so God bless you all for being here. Thank you so much, Mr. Chris. I always like your argument, even though sometimes we may not all agree, but at the same time it's enriching the discussion one way or another. The good thing about having a discussion is that you can take away, even if you don't take away everything, there are certain steppings, snappings, okay, sorry, whatever it is. You pick from here and there, things, and put together to enrich your own knowledge. And those things you don't totally understand, you go back and research it. And so
the word you're looking for is snippets.
Okay, snippets. Thank you so much, Jagun, for that, snipping in that snippets for me to be able. All right. I
He's an Englishman.
Oh yeah.
No, I'm not.
He has been living in London, eating with the Queen. Is it a small thing? So he doesn't blame me. Me and Officer and Zikaikon. That's what I know.
There appears to be a predominance of the English,
Yes. Yes, you guys are English. We don't care in America for English.
For once, at least we outnumber the rest of you.
Yes.
The English are proper people.
Oh, well, by the way, the 4 of you are in England, except Chris. Oh, wow.
You see, the people in England, so for some reason, we do endure more than the Americans.
Oh, no.
They are busy eating burgers and chicken and everything.
They don't like to endure. They don't.
Anyway. Forefathers, I don't know if you mind doing another couple of hours.
All right. We need to run off. Thank you so much, everyone present. We enjoyed all of you. It's been quite a long day, and it's been tough. It's been tough. In fact, I'm sweating right now. It's been good. It's been tough. We all living with one thing in our minds. Our desire for coming to this platform is to enrich the politics in our country, to enrich the discourse, to change the narrative to what all of us will enjoy. Nobody here, whether they agree with our ideas or our or not, that is looking for a Nigeria that will not work for everybody. We are all concerned that Nigeria should work for all of us. Our parents have fought for this. They went to war because of this. And now are we going to also leave the nation this way to our children to continue the fight that our parents fought, that our forefathers fought, and we are fighting and have not been able to change it? Is it not time for us to sit down and have a rethink and look at the situation eyeball to eyeball, and as the house would say, physical the physical, Ido the Ido? It's not time for us to look at it and take a drastic decision to turn around the fortunes of our country. How long shall we continue to live in another man's country? How long will we continue to take our children abroad and spend our hard-earned money to educate them in a language and a skill we may not even be able to find in our own nation? It does not matter which side of the divide you are. All we're looking for is a better nation. All we're looking for is a nation that is free, fair, where justice, equity, and righteousness that endures, where every life matters and everybody's thought, everybody's view is considered. We are not saying we want heaven on earth, but we're saying that we want a country where right is right, wrong is wrong, where law is respected. It does not matter whether you are rich or you are poor. What makes America great is that both the rich and the poor can have the same plate of meal, can have the same shopping list. They all can do the same thing. No matter how little your house is, you have every amenities available unto you. You can enjoy your own life at your own rate without having to break the bank. What makes America rich is because when you turn the light, it comes on. And when you put on the tap, it runs water, it runs hot, it runs cold. What makes America tick is that the American government considers the life of every American so important and so valuable that they're ready to go to war based on that. Can you imagine for a single officer whose plane went down in Iran, America spent and sent almost 17 different war equipment to go to that individual. But in our own nation, generals have fallen. We don't even know how to pick them up. We don't even know how to pick their bodies. Nobody does anything about it. It's not time for us to sit down and reconsider and think of our future and the future of our children. Whether you're Igbo, Hausa, Yoruba, Tiv, Ijo, Jukum, Angas, Birom, whichever one you are, no other land belongs to you and me except that one. And we have to find a way to work together. But if working together is not working any longer, let us sit together and say to each other, it was good working with you. We'll have a handshake and we all go our various ways in peace. Many people have done it. We can also do it. But if we are determined to change our fortune, we can equally do it. Great countries have done it and they are still doing it. Even before our very eyes, Burkina Faso is a clear example of a people who have taken their own destiny in their hands and they are turning their fortune around. It's not too late. It's not too late. But we need a government that's ready to do the right thing and make the right move so that every one of us, our children, can say to us, thank you, Daddy. We saw what you people did and we are grateful. If not, only God knows what will happen. On that faithful note, on behalf of Dr. Rudolph Okonkwo, I am KJ, signing off and saying to you, may God bless you and may this week work for you in whatever endeavor that you put your hand that is legit. May God bless the work of your hands. For all the people who have been on this section, on our the keyboard guys, thank you so much. We really enjoy, whether the commentary were positive or negative, we enjoy all of them. It's all part of the package. And like, look, life is, it has sweet oranges. You also have lemonade. And I've learned to mix the two to get the best that I want. And I wish you the same to also learn how to put it together and get the test that you want that will serve for you and work for your people. Thank you so much and have a good night.